Good afternoon and welcome to the Pukekohe Cosmopolitan Complex, where we're going to bring you the final of the Women's Champion Fours, and also being played at the same time, of course, is the Men's Champion Fours, but we'll be concentrating on the Women's Final. And the finalists won their semi-finals, the side of Karen Hema, Linda Ralph, Lisa Prideaux and Judy Wong. They were up against the county side, the Pukekohe side, of Sharon Shegrun, Cheryl Nazy, Cheryl Brownlee and Kathy Steiner, and it was the Carlton Cornwall side who ran out the winners by 17 shots to 4. In the other semi-final, it was the North Harbour side out of the Takapuna Club of Wendy Jensen and Doreen Trish Hardy and Sky Renee's. They were up against Tania Wheeler, Janelle Frew, Dale Rowe and Olivia Manson, and they were the winners by 14 to 8. In the men's, I can tell you, in the semi-finals, we had the Scott Mansfield skip side out of the Marlborough Centre up against the Ian Bowick skip side of Northland, and it was the Northland side from the Onirahi Club that have won their way through to the final. And in the other semi-final, we saw Adam Hayward of Thames up against the Terracine side, the Manawatu side, playing their last ever game under the name of Terracine up against the Thames side, and it was the Adam Hayward side from Thames that ran out the winner. And throughout this final, we will bring you updates of that men's final. With me, I have got well-known North Harbour and Takapuna player Robin Walker with me. So welcome, Robin, and we'll bring you this live coverage, 15 ends of the Women's Champion Fours at Pukekohe. First end is underway. And you better tell me, Robin, those bowls that are holding the shot, are they the Takapuna bowls, the junior, the 17-year-old, is that correct?
No, you mean Sky Renes.
Sky Renes, yes.
Sky is 40 and hails from Northland. She just joined us this season. Her bowls will be the dark colour. Second shot looks like Trish Hardy, who has a purple bowl with white markings.
That's her bowl out to the right?
Yes.
All right. So, on the mat, Carlton Cornwall, number 3, Linda Ralph, well-performed player, winner of a number of titles, of course, I'm close to winning New Zealand titles, and it is, if I'm right, it's the Judy Wong bowl, which is shot, and Anne Doreen, the number 3 for the North Harbour side, won a number of titles, of course, in North Harbour, very well-performed player. On the backhand is Anne Doreen, trying to play down to the Judy Wong bowl. It's on a good line, this bowl of Doreen's. Is going to break right towards the shot bowl? It is. Just runs by. And Karen Hema, the skip for the Carlton Cornwall side, having a good look. Of course, the skip of the Takapuna side, Wendy Jensen, former New Zealand player, way back to 2002, 2004, when she made her debut. And very, very accomplished skip is Wendy Jensen, as we see. Linda Ralph draws Jack Level. So the Takapuna side, Robin, they've gone well right throughout, obviously. I've only arrived here today, but I see that they beat Sarah Scott this morning. That was a good win in that quarter-final, defeating the Dunedin side for 12-8, so obviously going pretty well.
Absolutely. The game this morning with Sarah was a quality game from both sides, and very, very even. You know, that's what happens when you get such a fantastic group of players.
Yeah, all the players, of course, on both those sides, very, very accomplished players. So we see this first bowl of Jensen's, of course, I was also a member here at Pukekohe, was Winnie Jensen a few years back. And Karen Hemler, very, very well performed Auckland player. Yeah, the Carlton Cornwall Club. Play down on her backhand. This 3/4 length head in this final of the Women's Champion and Champion Fours, the last of the Champion events, which we'll be bringing you, endeavouring to get down to the jack. Shit on the shot bowl as Hema just going to get the touch on the jack. Not quite, very close. Great attempt from the Carlton Cornwall player. Jensen on the backhand. Just see how that line looks. Certainly a different line to her first. Looking on a good line is this bowler Jensen. Is it going to get all the way? Gets a touch on the bowl. Tips the bowl out. Have a look and see what the story is. Linda Ralph having a look on the head. One down was the call from Linda Ralph. Pretty tight head, Robin, to start off with in this first end of 15.
Yes, very much so. They'll be putting in the good shots right to the end. They're again very, very accomplished players.
So Karen Hema now. That's the swing of the arm. Playing down now on her forehand, trying to get to the jack or bowl. Needs to come back quite a distance. I think it's going to stay out on that wider side, and will do. So that's the first end completed, and we see Sky Renee the lead for the Takapuna side. Quickly, the mat looking. I'm sure if they've taken one out, looking at the second one, not sure actually. It's the one, as was indicated to us. So first end gone, and the number 2, Robin Trish Henry.
Hardy.
Trish Hardy.
Yes.
Sorry. So been a member at Takapuna for some time.
Yes, she started her bowls at Maringi Bay and then came over to Takapuna approximately 3 seasons ago, I think, and has done very, very well in the club with starting in a more junior status, and then she's in the Open now, but always very, into her bowls and always doing really well.
So here we see the lead, Sky Renee on the backhand, and obviously a good performer in North Harbour, I believe. Correct, Robin?
Yes, Sky Renee coming to Harbour just this year, but she, in our Bowls North Harbour Awards, Sky was the 1 to 5 Player of the Year, and then also the Young Player of the Year. So she's come onto the scene.
Young Player of the Year? Is she 40?
I know. That's what they call it, the Young Player of the Year, but it really just, it signifies junior player.
Oh.
Yeah, the 1 to 5.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's right.
That's why.
They have awards for everything. So the second bowl, we saw the bowl of the Karen Hema bowl, Judy Wong, just go by. Here is now again Sky Renee on her backhand. Got a nice arc on her bowls that comes in towards the head. More than likely going to finish jack level, but a metre away. And we saw in the men's semi-final before, just got it one hand, certainly not as generous on the draw, and you'll see the Judy Wong using the bowling arm, which is not that common here in New Zealand, but certainly like in Australia, there's a number of players that play with the arm, and we look at this bowl of Judy Wong's. It's a magnificent bowl from the Carlton Cornwall lead, just finishing lower the jack. And Trish Hardy now with her first bolt on this, the second end. Play on that backhand. And I did hear, Robin, that the game this morning, the Sarah Scott game, was certainly a first-rate game. And I saw part of the Karen Hema game this morning as well when I arrived from Hamilton. And they were playing the Sharon Sims side, and that was a pretty tight encounter as well. The Auckland girls just ran away the last few ends. Lisa Prideaux, very, very well performed player. And goes in behind the head by a metre and a bit. I had the pleasure yesterday, Robin, of commentating the first ever virtual game of bowls at the Olympic at Ryman Retirement Village, where we did a game, commentated the final, which was between the Jean Sandal Retirement Village of New Plymouth, and they were playing out of Christchurch, and the other team that was in at Linda Jones Retirement Village in Hamilton, and we were commentating. They were using the visual, the eyes, the
optical kind of glasses, frames.
They were using those and placing the bowls as they came to rest.
Wow!
And the first ever virtual game, and we covered that yesterday in Hamilton. It was
fantastic.
Well, it's pretty interesting. It's a pretty long, drawn-out affair, I can assure you of that. But it just highlights what technology does now. And it was a first ever virtual game, and we played. In fact, they're editing it today, and it'll be played throughout all the Ryman villages around the countryside over the next few days. So we watch this bowler, and Doreen's just going to finish jack level. The two Lisa Prideaux bowls straight on the centre line, but went by about a metre. The danger of this carpet, Robin, is if trying to dead draw, you're going to finish short. You need to be consistently thinking a metre.
Metres through.
A couple of feet through the head all the time. Otherwise, so great bowl there from the number 3, Linda Ralph, for the Carlton Cornwall side, and draws in behind the head, and that'll count. That'll be a couple. And because Linda Ralph, as you would well know, Robin, very, very consistent draw player, performed well in nationals and inter-centre events, and certainly a pretty steady player. So Anne Doreen now playing down on her backhand. Looks out of the hand, looked to be on that slightly wide side to get down that port to the counting area, but it came back a long, long way to the jack, just over jack level. Still be Carlton Cornwall who are holding. And to say, we'll bring you updates of the men's final as well, that between the Thames skipped side with Adam Hayward and the Oniroa in Bowick skipped side from Whangarei. Here's now Linda Ralph again on changing the hand onto the backhand. Yes, thank you, Karen. And again, the bowl of Linda Ralph's wide, going to go by the jack. Bit surprised you changed the hand then, Robin, after playing the first bowl, drawing the shot on that hand, but I thought would have stayed on the same hand to.
Yeah, clearly they were seeing something else that they wanted to come down through that side.
One of the things you learn, is you can't cover everything.
No, well,
And sometimes you can try and cover everything to your own detriment. So Wendy Jensen now, of course, formerly played as well at Pukekohe. On the forehand is the former blackjack. On a good line is this Wendy Jensen bowl, endeavouring to get down to the bowl. The shot bowl is going to be very close to doing so. Gets a touch on the Linda Ralph bowl. Was only a few centimetres away. Close to getting a good result there was Wendy Jensen. Linda Ralph saying to Karen Hemet, just draw around these bowls. Of course, this been the forehand for the Carlton Cornwall player. And just a matter of and it's going to be so Wendy Jensen again, and this is going to run to the Linda Ralph bowl, gets a touch on the jack, and we'll move it back to what is the Anderine bowl.
Yes.
Well played by the Takapuna skip. Just got a touch on the bowl and moved the jack only but a couple of centimetres to make shot of it. Karen Hemer down, having a look at the head. And so it doesn't matter. Whatever, that's the right call, Linda Ralph. What looks easiest from the mat? You can look at things forever and it doesn't change. And it just depends. Well, they've got the advantage, I suppose, as the Carlton Cornwall side was making contact with weight. The Lisa Prideaux bowl is the deepest on the rink. So if Karen Hemer does play with reaching weight through there, she can get some movement onto the jack. And we'll see what that lot. Made contact, ran into the Wendy Jensen bowl, and whether it turned that 3.
Oh,
so
goodness.
What a great conversion there from Wendy Jensen, turning 2 down, in fact, into 3 shots. That was well played by the Takapuna skip. And I really think there, Robin, that Karen Hemer really need to play with more weight to try and get a resulting shot through the head.
Yeah. I mean, usually she would play, you know, with that nice reaching weight.
It was certain that was a weight, that needed weight through the head for sure. So, Jack's been delivered by Sky Renee. On the back end will be the Takapuna lead, leading 4-0 after superb bowl on this, the second end. Wendy Jensen turning what was most likely 2 down into 3 up. So good opening bowl here from the Takapuna lead. He's going to finish just over jack high, and that's the sort of bowls you want, Robin, to start the head off, aren't they?
Oh, absolutely. You know, if your lead's on, it's such a big part of a fours game.
So Judy Wong, Karen Hemer watching it. I don't think it's going to have the weight. And it's not. That's a good 2 metres short. Very nice delivery has the Takapuna player, no doubt. Of course, may well be under the tutelage of Graham Doreen at Takapuna. He does a wonderful job. Coach, certainly very, very analytical in delivery. Does a great job, Robin. Does Graham Doreen, doesn't he?
Oh, absolutely. And, especially with Sky, he's with her living up in Northland, just out of Whangarei and Onerahi. He's been going up there and he's been giving a training.
Well, here's the danger of short bowls straight away. The Carlton Cornwall side restricted straight away to a one-hand head, and they're down on the head. And I just can't stress, as Robin rightly said but a moment ago, you've got to short bowls just, you just can't have them. And because of that, now it allows the Takapuna side to be able to build the head in their advantage. Lisa Prideaux now, current New Zealand Peers title holder with Val Smith. Won 2 years out of 3. And of course her partner, Leif Selby, just recently won the New Zealand Champion Peers. And with James Wilson, this is a good bowl coming in from Lisa Prideaux. Is it going to run all the way? Certainly very handy, and a very good bowl there from the number 2 from Carlton Cornwall. And Prideaux, part of the New Zealand Blackjack High Performance squad. Trish Hardy now is on the good arcing line. And it certainly looks, Robin, as though the green's got a pretty consistent draw. If you take your green, you get rewarded.
Exactly. It's this rink in particular is looking very effective for the bowlers.
And we'll bring you updates from the men's final as well. So here is Lisa Prideaux with her second bowl. It's on a fairly similar line and trying to get down to the jack, and will do so, and sits inside. Very two good bowls there, Robin, from the number 2 for the Carlton Cornwall side.
Very, very nice. Lisa plays a lovely bowl.
She sure does. Very handy player. Sonia and Doreen, number 3 for the Takapuna side. Certainly on a tighter line than what the Lisa Prideaux bowl was. Of course, if she's got weight, she can get to the shot, the jack, and just got a turn on what was the Sky Renee bowl. Just got half a turn out of it. And Linda Ralph now. She wasn't far away, Anne, was she, to get the result?
No, Anne plays with a size 1 bowl, and it's amazing. What she can get out of them.
They'd certainly
fantastic.
They'd turn at the finish.
They do, yeah.
And here now, Linda Ralph. Yeah, I just had a question here. And to me, that's the shot that was asked to be played there is just really, literally a non-effective shot, because to draw another counter bowl, that bowl, Linda Ralph, has to come past one of the short bowls, and makes it very hard for it to be effective into the head. And in fairness, it's leaving the door open for the Takapuna side, which we're about to see, attack the head. And that's well learned. You can't keep covering. You get one shot, you just can't keep covering. You just...
You've got to be positive,
you've got to be positive,
Kevin?
and I'm sorry to say this, but the likelihood of Linda Ralph being able to draw the shot around that front bowl there is just about impossible. I could be wrong, but so here on the mat is Linda Ralph playing on her backhand, and sometimes you've got to play the opposition shot.
Is it coming through?
So it's another bowl on the head for the Carlton Cornwall side, but just restricting their options. And last week we commentated the men's triples game. Mike Galloway skip side they continuously just kept playing the opposition shot all the time, and it then turns the tables on the opposition, not trying to defend a shot all the time. Yeah,
that was a very good game, Kevin.
Certainly was. They played very, very well. Did the Royal Oak side, very deserved winners. They played outstanding, and Gavin Brown leading for the Mike Galloway side was he was outstanding. So that bowl of Wendy Jensen's, and it's interesting now after Linda Ralph playing the other hand, the skip Karen Heemer's now electing to play what is her backhand. And trying to get down to the shot bowl or the jack, try and get some movement. Got a slide, that got what I would call, I know they're clapping it, but that's what you would call, well, it counts. Bit fortuitous in that outcome, really. Got a slide off the inside bowl. Could be a couple. It is two. See the lollipops get put up. And it is two shots at this point to the Takapuna side. Sorry, to the Carlton Cornwall side. And Wendy Jensen's got the advantage on this end of having the deepest bowl. So there's no harm in her attacking the head. Can't come to much damage. Pretty precise shot to play it on that draw, though, isn't it?
Absolutely.
And although Karen Heemer's got the shot, she didn't play it precisely on the draw. She got a wee bit of assistance to get to there. So this is not an easy shot for Wendy Jensen to play, because you've got to have your weight absolutely perfect in that line. Perfect. Two shots at this stage was the call to the Carlton Cornwall side. On the forehand is Wendy Jensen. The Takapuna skip's got the bowl out of the hand well on a good line, on the good weight line, but as we said, Robin, very hard to get that right. But, well, this is one of these hands, Ian's, I think now, Robin, where you say we've got two shots.
Yeah.
We haven't scored yet. Let's
take it.
Let's take the two. I wouldn't be playing. I wouldn't play the bowl here. No sense in coming to have a look at it. If you aren't confident in playing it, then just don't try too hard. Take the two, and move on to the next end, the fourth end, and you decide then your length of where you want the jack. And Heemer, I wouldn't be saying she hasn't tried. She has actually tried, but very, very difficult to get another shot in there, isn't it?
Absolutely.
Really difficult. So we'll just get them to confer. The lollipop lady said to us two. Calling the umpire straight away. I presume that's two that they've taken out. Was that be right?
Yes.
Think, Robin?
Yeah, that's the two that they've taken.
So a wee bit fortuitous there was the Carlton Cornwall side, just to get a touch on the... So at Takapuna, Robin, winter comes along. Does the club then play on grass green, isn't it? Takapuna?
Yeah, we've got one grass green, one artificial, and during the winter we still have a great group of roll-up bowlers that come down, and we can get anywhere between 35-45 people that will come and play on the one artificial green. It's fantastic.
Let's not get carried away with this artificial thing. I'm one of the old advocates.
You like the grass?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I know there's some moves around about it, but enhancing indoor complexes and artificials and etc. And don't get me wrong, there's certainly a place for them, but never to replace the natural outdoor surface. That's what the game is based around, and you know, I hate to see us lose that. You know, the battle of the elements and the various greens, and it's just something about being out on the natural surface greens in the summer months. Just it's great. My goodness, here's some interesting.
Gosh, I'll say.
Boy. This is really getting down to work, isn't it? The umpire, he's very much in the crouch position with the calipers, trying to decipher who's got the shot here. Look.
Doing a very good job there, Kevin.
Yeah, to me, looking at it from here, it's impossible to say.
It's hard to tell
because you
from
can't
here,
tell
isn't it?
what the angles are really from here. He's quickly going back. Is there?
No.
That's
Lisa
three.
Bordeaux, yes.
So, and he was very quick on that second measure, so he's obviously quite sure that was the outcome. I'm just trying to see those lollipops to make sure it was 3. Oh, there's a scoreboard lady down there as well in this final, which is good.
Oh, yep.
It
Yes,
is
it's
3. So 4-3 now. And of course the other thing as well about the... Hello, we'll just take a break now and we'll go over to Mark Cameron, who's got someone with him out there to have a chat with.
All right, we're here ringside again in the women's finals of the Champion of Champs. And just before I catch up with Jan Larson, just looking over the scoreboard on the men's Champion of Champ finals, it is currently 3-1 to Onirahi, and from the looks of things, a pick 2 was just picked up there, so 5-1 to Northland's Onirahi over the Thames team. From Thames, I guess it is. Is that right?
Absolutely.
Yeah, brilliant. I'm here with Jan Larson. Jan is part of the county setup here, part of the Pukekohe facility. So just a little bit about your role first, and a little bit about the venue itself.
Okay, I am the president of Bowls Counties Manukau, part of the board. I play bowls out of here. This has been going for 20 years. It's maybe not used as much as it could be, and we'd like it to be used more. But it's a great facility, and we also have an outdoor green.
Oh, it's a superb facility here, and I guess it's one of these facilities that certainly people in counties, but also Aucklanders can benefit from as well, in terms of I guess the indoors and you know it's warm inside.
Absolutely, yes.
And Jan, what's your bowls like? We did have a little one bowl challenge there in the halftime break, and you know I'm disappointed for you, but that's okay. How's your bowls going in general though?
My bowls are going very well. I started playing 12 years ago, and I was a tennis player, and I love it. Wished I'd started sooner.
That seems to be a common theme from people, is to say that they really wish they'd started a bit sooner too, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely.
Good. And the counties teams, they've gone all right in this event.
Oh, the counties team have done very, very well. They've got one junior in their team, a girl that's only just 6 years, another one that's 14, and then Shaz has been playing for quite a long time. So very, very proud of them, very proud.
And it feels like there's a little bit more energy in the county scene these days. We've got Manuera now playing in the Bowls 3-5 televised league, which is brilliant as well.
Yes.
So, can you put that down to anything?
Oh, I just think that counties is just coming on the map. We've always done well, but we've always been like the second cousins. But now we're finally sort of putting our foot forward, and we're getting there.
Jan, I really would have said something like it's due to the talents of the administrators here in the Bowls Counties region as to why you're doing successful. But if you don't want to take credit, that's cool, and the rest of your team as well. But well done, and beautiful facility, and thanks so much on behalf of Bowls New Zealand and all the athletes for this event as well.
That's great. Okay, thank you.
Back to you, Kevin.
Thank you, Mark. And we just saw Lisa Bordeaux just draw a front toucher there on this, the 4th of 15 ends. And after the leads didn't really put any pressure on the jack, but Bordeaux very quickly took advantage of that opportunity. And we've already seen Lisa Bordeaux, very, very good player. Played most of her bowls, of course, in Australia, and moved back about 4 years ago now. Her and her partner, Leif. And of course, her son, Bo, plays at the St John's Park Club in Sydney. Won the New Zealand Fours, in fact, in New Plymouth, playing with Rowan Brassey a few years back, and represented New South Wales. And is very keen to come back and try and stake a claim here in New Zealand. So pretty good bowling family, Robert.
Absolutely.
So Trish Hardy trying to get past down to this shot bowl. This is a very good attempt by the Takapuna number 2. That'll certainly be second shot and finishes Jack level. So Linda Ralph, of course, the first year that Val Smith and Lisa Bordeaux won the New Zealand pairs, they actually defeated Linda Ralph in that final. So here is Linda Ralph. Of course, plays quite a bit on the carpet, being part of the Professional Bowls Association scene as well. Just question, needs to get inside. This hasn't quite got the weight, need a metre of weight. And short bowls in this, Robin, especially on carpet where they don't move very far, can put you under a lot of, just make it difficult, can't it?
Oh, absolutely. And it is, as you said earlier, it is hard because you've just got to push through and put that extra bit of weight.
You do. You've got to play. You've got to be playing. You know, your line
Play
is always
through.
a couple of feet. Always playing through. Yeah, trying to dead draw to it. Unfortunately, you can get into all sorts of trouble. And we saw that in the semi-final of the men's, when the Manawatu boys dropped the 4 right at the wrong time, and that came about because of the short bowls. Another good bowl there from Doreen. Now 2 bowls on the head, the jack level on both hands, backhand and forehand. And that allows Wendy Jensen, of course, to be able to attack a wee bit more. Got her bowls around the head. Here is Ralph now. The first bowl really was about 6 feet short, and this bowl's not going to do anything, I don't think, as well, although I can't really see. And as the bowls are just, you've got to have effective bowls, and obviously Wendy Jensen indicating if you're over the head's fine, that means that she's going to try and play attack to the head, isn't she? Which she can do now with having the advantage of where her bowls are located, which of course Carlton Cornwall can't do that because of the short bowls, 4 short bowls, so you can't do that. So here is now Doreen endeavouring, number 3 for Wendy Jensen, endeavouring to get another bowl in on the head. Just question that line though, and it's going to be under the head, and that possibly is not really Wendy Jensen wanted it if she was going to attack, but there's still a line down there to get to that shot bowl. Short bowls are just can cause you all sorts of issues. I suppose the advantage for Carlton Cornwall is they have got 2 bowls over the head, haven't they? They've got
Yeah, Lisa and
the lead's got a bowl over the head. The Judy Wong has got a bowl over the head, so that is helpful for them. So here is Karen Hema now on the backhand, started with bowls in the Hawke's Bay. On her backhand, that looks decidedly the narrowest line down through there, trying to sit what is the 3rd shot bowl, I would say, but didn't have the weight to do that really. If you're playing that line, it's a sort of shot that need to be under the line with weight. Conference going on. Does Wendy realise it's her turn?
I'm sure she does.
Does someone need to give her a ring? So Wendy Jensen making her way back to the mat on this, the 4th end. Try and dislodge that shot bowl without the jack going back. Of course, where it's sitting, Robin, the jack could go straight back.
Which would be a lot of pain with the many more bowls coming in.
Yeah, it would favour, certainly favour the Carlton Cornwall side. So here is Jensen on her backhand. See what weight that she plays down to that shot bowl. Trying to thread the needle through the port down to shot bowl. It's a good attempt, but won't have the weight to do so, and now really cuts that line off when Robin.
Yes, I mean, she won't be able to play back down there again, unfortunately.
I think playing with, well, as you rightly said before, doesn't really want the jack going back either, does she?
No.
So one down's not the end of the world really if you can't get out of it. Although they've got a second and third close by, and the bowl of Karen Heemers is going to go by. Well, see what Wendy Jensen elects to do here. That backhand line is very tight, Wendy, down there to try and get to that shot bowl, isn't it really?
Yeah.
Pretty hard shot. Making a great attempt though is Jensen, but won't have the weight to get down to that area. And it'll be a 1 to the Carlton Cornwall side. So 4 ends gone, and we're locked up at 4 apiece. And that was the bowl of Lisa Brado's, of course, that made shot of it. And like all of these sides, Robin, you know, to get to a national final of the Champion of Champions, you've come through your club and your centre, so you've played a lot of games to get to here, haven't you? To get to
Absolutely. And what there's been such a great feel in the stadium this weekend with the teams, and I think there's something to be said for playing for your club.
Well, there is, and I think the Champion of Champions has proved it. You know, we've been around the country. We've been in Wellington, been in Dunedin, Hastings last weekend, and now here. And, you know, it's great to see so many, although 2 of the leading clubs, I'd say, are through to this particular final. But in a number of the events, we've seen what I'd call some of the lesser clubs who have made their way through to the final, semi-finals or finals. And, you know, that's fantastic for those clubs. And looking on social media as well, there's certainly been a lot of support being given by the respective clubs and club members for their teams going away. And some of these teams, of course, travelled a long way to get here.
They have.
From the deep south, the far north. You know, it's a pretty big excursion. So, but it is good though that we're having the indoor surfaces and the ability to take the competitions around the various centres. We see this second bowl from Julie Wong just going by the jack. And last week at Hastings, have you been to the complex at Hastings?
No, I haven't.
Well, it was, to me, I'm not going to say anything adverse about any of the other centres around the country, but Hastings, it's carpet's been down there for 20 years, hasn't never been changed, and the surface is fantastic. It's part of the Hastings club, and you know, it's right in the middle of Hastings city itself, and it's certainly wonderful complex, and the people there they couldn't do enough for us. They were just fantastic. So it's great that we've reintroduced the Champion of Champions, I think, under this format, and of course playing it on the premise that you play section play. Once you get to the national final, have section play. Does give everybody the chance to get through to the post-section play.
Exactly.
As we see Lisa Prideaux on that good line. It's gone by about a metre, but on the centre line. So, you know, even up from the far north, here's Northland. Great. When would you ever see a national final between Northland and Thames? Long
time ago.
If ever. If ever. So that's one of the great things about the Champion of Champions, that it does do that. So congratulations to all of the clubs all around the country who have taken part in these Champion of Champion events. And the next big one, of course, that we'll be covering is the North-South match in Dunedin, which is going to be, we're really looking forward to that.
And when's that, Kevin?
Early September, and
right.
Brendan Van Nistelrooy, Tamara, Colin, myself will be bringing all of that live action on the North-South game, which really is, I suppose you could say, simulates just about a national trial as well. So we're very much looking forward to that, and we'll be bringing that on Sky Sport Next. So now Trish Hardy down on the head, but plenty of room there really, Robin, isn't there, to draw the shot?
Exactly.
Trish Hardy's on that narrower line though, needs to be fortunate and get the jack.
Oof.
Just goes by on the narrow side. So Linda Ralph, there's a metre really, isn't there, Robin, to draw?
Yeah, there's definitely room there.
To draw the shot. Locked up at 4-all after 4 ends in this women's final. And we'll give you an update shortly on that men's final as well. Mark Cameron will give us an update on that shortly as I watch this bowl of Linda Ralph's. Karen Hemer applauding the bowl as it breaks towards the head, but that's short. So, you know, it was on a great line to the jack, but there's still that metre there, Robert, isn't there, for Anne Doreen to draw the shot or get second shot. Plenty of room. So here is Anne Doreen now on her forehand. And that looked a pretty good line out of her hand, as you say.
Taken nice green.
Yeah, looked a good line out of the hand, and this will be the shot, I would say. Oh, maybe second shot. The front bowl of Judy Wong's may be shot, but that bowl looked good right out of the hand, really, didn't it? Robin always looked as though it was going to be in the target area.
It did.
On the back end now is Linda Ralph. Needs to come past her own short bowl to get into the counting zone. Going to, but there's... can I ask you a question, Ron? I see Karen here with you this. Now that bowl's more than 7 feet away from the jack, but we're clapping it, we're applauding it.
Well,
we're
keeping the team up. Do you think that's a good answer?
It's a good answer.
I'm searching for a good answer.
I'll run with
that's the best I can give you.
I'll run with that, okay?
We're keeping the girls pumped.
Yeah, okay. Or keeping their hands warm or something. So here is Anne Doreen trying to sit on, and sits on the Lisa Bordeaux bowl. Yeah. I think it'll still be 1 though to the Carlton Cornwall side. They change over. The Australians, they start clapping them as they leave their hands.
Do they?
They clap the jack.
Well, the jack's important as well,
yeah,
Kevin, as you know.
Yeah, it's always just with all the games that both Brenton and myself have commentated, it's something that we always sort of sit back and say, well, why are you sort of applauding that? So here's now Linda Ralph on the backhand. Sorry, Karen Hemer, the skip for Carlton Cornwall on the backhand. Locked up at 4 apiece. There, looks as though it's going to run on the narrow line, but might have dead weight, and will draw jack level. And is
drawn very nicely.
Well, as Gary Murawai and myself were saying here as well earlier on, Robin, it was playing on the carpets that playing on these, say, 14, 15 second greens, compared to outside 18, 19 seconds. You can play under the line and not go very far away. Whereas if you're on those other greens, on the outside greens, the bowler more likely to move a metre away. So you do have the advantage. You've got more margin of error that you can allow for on the carpet than and also it's interesting, of course, here playing with the yellow jacks, that they're actually heavier, and so therefore they don't move as far as we see Hemer now. The bowler Wendy Jensen's was short with her first bowl. This bowler Karen Hemer's short. Of course, the thing about that short bowl there, just about sits. Those things just standing on the mat. You can see them literally sitting on the close on your draw line. Here is Wendy Jensen now on her forehand, needing to get past and endeavouring to get under the head to the shot bowl. Was going to get the port,
Ooh.
Got the port, goes through. And we'll see what definitely Carlton Cornwall will score. We'll just see what the count is. Might be 2, might be 3. So that front bowl is at North Harbour Bowl. And
No.
so going back now to the bowl there, and then there's a Lisa Rideau bowl there in the middle, but that's half a bowl higher, I think. So
One.
just the one. It certainly, it looked like a couple from our angle, Robin.
It did.
So 5-4, 5 ends gone, and it's 5-4 to the Carlton Cornwall side of Karen Hema, Linda Rolfe, Lisa Bordeaux, and Judy Wong up against the Takapuna combination of Wendy Jensen and Doreen, Trish Hardy, and Sky Renee. Sky, as Robin was saying, the North Harbour Young Player of the Year, and she travels down from Ondarahi to play at Takapuna.
Yes,
is that
she
right?
does. Yeah. Which is a huge commitment.
Certainly is, of course. Ondarahi out there in the final of the men's as well. So,
yeah. She'll be keeping an eye on them as well, Kevin.
Quinella out there with Ondarahi and really featuring in both finals. As you see this first bowl of Judy Wong's, it's a couple of metres behind, had a good line to the jack, couple of metres heavy. This green, unlike some of the greens, the indoor greens that we played on, Nine being one, is that certain times, and of course the difference at Nine you've got glass all around you, and the speed changes throughout the day. And in fact, the Bowls 3-5 this year was a change between a few seconds between one end of the club to the other end of the club. But I hear that in the months to come, there's a new surface to be put down at Nine.
Okay.
Apparently it's all been approved with the local council and one of the community trusts. My only request is if they're going to put the carpet in, or redo the carpet, it'd be lovely to get some heating in there.
Oh, I think you've got to go up into the roof and do some adjustments up there, because that's where all the heat's going, isn't it?
Yeah, well, it's certainly it's it's certainly not the tropics at the Nine Green. As we see this bowl, Sky Renee is going to draw the shot right into towards the centre line. Well played by the Takapuna lead. Lisa Bordeaux now onto the mat. I think it's fair to say, just watching 5 ends of this game, it would appear there's one hand that Lisa Bordeaux obviously favours, doesn't it? Certainly,
yes.
It looks that way on that forehand. And just going to drop under the line is this bowl of Bordeaux's and be a good metre short. So here's the chance for Trish Hardy to very quickly capitalise on the second bowl of Sky Renee, which is the shot, and this bowl of Hardy's is on. It just seems on a good line as well. Just question how far is it going to go on the weight. Goes by a metre and a bit, but that's not all bad. It's just in behind the head. You can't score in front, but you can certainly score behind. I think Lisa Bordeaux also had some coaching from Graham Doreen. I think at one stage...
I think she has.
I think at one stage
right.
Lisa Bordeaux was in the Graham Doreen stable.
A number of the development girls were, weren't they?
Watch this bowler, Lisa Bordeaux, trying to get all the way back to the centre line. Just goes by, does get to the centre line, but just sits outside what is the shot bowl. And Trish Hardy only went by just over a metre, so just got a real flick on the delivery there. Has the Takapuna number 2.
Oh, she's pushed that out a little way.
Well, I think that exaggerated flick there, Robin, may have
done that.
May have assisted that, because at the point of delivery as well, I heard Trish Hardy give a bit of a. So yeah, it was definitely wiping her hand. In fact, now, so obviously that was out. That would just she may have a flick with her delivery, but that just was exaggerated. Linda Ralph now trying to get down to this shot bowl. Karen Hema looking at it closely, trying to encourage it to get back. Sits on the shot bowl, turns that over. Well played by the Carlton Cornwall number 3. As we play in 6 of 15. And a big thank you again to Tamara and Colin, who do all the work, bringing all this together, putting it all together. They do a wonderful job in getting all the equipment here, setting it all up. And they're the ones that do the work to make sure that you can watch either at home or on your devices to watch us. So what's your... Robin, you've been around the bowling fraternity for a while. We've certainly seen big changes now in what we deliver insofar as coverage is concerned.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, I think it's the improvement in the coverage is very significant for not only competitive bowlers who, want to watch what's going on, but also for our roll-up and more social bowlers that, bringing into the Bowls 3-5 onto the television, and even these competitions is fantastic.
Well, it's interesting. Yesterday, being down in Hamilton at the Ryman village down there, and there was 4 Ryman villages down there for the day, and it was interesting. Here's a good bowl from Andarine, going to roll all the way to shot. Not quite, I don't think. But the comments was of how many people, and in fact, at the Linda Jones Centre, they actually set up in one of their lounges when the quite often when the bowls are on, and the people love it. So from when we were talking before about it, when Tamara and I first started doing the commentary from Dunedin, the National Championships at Taieri, we had about 3 phones, some cords, and a couple of microphones.
Back in the day.
It was back in the day. Well, it was only about 5 years ago. And, you're sitting here now and you can see all the production equipment. It's like it's as good as a Sky production unit.
Well, it was a little travelling roadshow, wasn't it, really, Kevin?
Yeah,
because you used to put your little table up at the back of the rink and with a few microphones. And I don't even know, we didn't even have the fancy TVs, did we?
Oh, we had
minimal.
Minimal, fair to say.
Yeah.
But now we've got a production which is first rate, and we can bring bowls right into your lounge or wherever you want to watch it. So, yeah, it's fantastic. That's why Tamara and Colin do a wonderful job in bringing all this.
And I mean, not only to bowlers, but also, people that love sport.
Oh, absolutely.
And are interested.
Well, one of the other things, of course, about bowls, Robin, is, and it's one of the really good things about sport, about bowls, is that, in the world of diversity, to, our paras, young players, a whole variety of people, that they can, have the enjoyment of being able to watch a sport. And so it's wonderful what Bowls New Zealand have done.
Not only just on the televised stuff, but also putting all the extra games, the older games on YouTube, which is I know a number of our members love going on that.
Well, the good thing is,
wonderful.
The other good thing which has happened, of course, with the sport overall, Rob, as you would well know, and full marks to Mark Cameron and the team, the communication out of Bowls New Zealand now to the greater bowler community is always about delivering a consistent good message and trying to do things and help and doing a whole variety of things. So, you know, the sport really it's in good heart.
Absolutely, and I mean, you can't fault the communication.
No communication.
You know, right down to the club level has been fantastic.
Well, it's also been great, Robin, that we've seen so many clubs where there was a struggle before who have now picked up the social media communications as part of their total club communication, whether it be whatever it might be to do with the clubs. So, no, Linda, Ralph, you don't have to stand in front of the camera to watch that bowl, because that was never, you could see out of the hand, that was never going to go anywhere near the head. So they were looking actually before to see, the shot might be closer than what we thought.
Yeah,
Robin,
I think so.
So Wendy Jensen following this bowl, her last bowl on this, the 16, and it's not going to have the weight to get to. Out comes the measure straight away. So as we predicted, Robin, it was tighter than what we had it first looked like. And Doreen indicating it was 1-2 Carlton Cornwall. So they now move to a 6-4 lead after 6 ends. 3 consecutive singles have scored. And I'll quickly now go over to Mark Cameron, who's got former New Zealand President Jeanette Sinclair.
Well, I think we're live. I think we've already crossed live, so we can carry this conversation on a little bit later. Hey, just before we catch up with you, Jeanette Sinclair, past president of Bowls New Zealand, and also Carlton Cornwall official. I don't know if you're official anymore, but you're a big supporter of the club. Just before we do that, well, I'll just give you an update of the men's final. So really tight game over there. Onirahi from Northland up 7-6 after 7 ends over the Thames boys. So really exciting final happening over there, and I guess it's equally close here. Jeanette, just a little bit about the club, the Carlton Cornwall Bowling Club, a little bit of history, and maybe something about these players as well.
Well, the history of the Carlton Cornwall Bowling Club is that the Cornwall Bowling Club was there for a long time, but it was getting a little bit decrepit and run down, and the Carlton Bowling Club, which wanted to move premises from Newmarket, which had wonderful greens and a beautiful building, but the viaduct became a bit of the Newmarket viaduct, and they decided to join forces with the Cornwall Bowling Club, and it became the Carlton Cornwall Bowling Club.
And it really is one of the I guess almost most picturesque clubs around in terms of the the land, the setting with the gardens, etc. It's just beautiful, isn't it? And 3 very high quality greens.
One of the greens has a bit of a problem with tree roots, but the trees are part of it, and aesthetically it's very beautiful. And I was just saying to Mark that the clubhouse, if you stand in Prairie Drive and look at it, it looks a bit like a woolshed. The Cornwall Park Trust were quite definite about how it should be built.
Oh,
and it is beautiful,
Yeah,
and it's a pleasure to be a member of that club, and it's we're very welcoming to visitors, and it's great.
Excellent. I haven't played there yet, but one day I will. In terms of the ladies out here, you'll know them well. They've had a good summer and a good few years actually. The club.
Yes, very much so. It's a fairly competitive club. Home of champions.
Home of champions, with a few personalities, I suspect, as well.
Oh, definitely. Yes, definitely.
Excellent.
But definitely home of champions.
Oh, well, hopefully the home of champions. Hopefully this game stays tight and we get through to the end. And I guess one thing we'll know is there'll be an Auckland winner somewhere in this women's final.
Which is rather lovely.
For an Aucklander.
Well, I think, the North and the South have always had great rivalries, and it's quite interesting to see today the finals. A lot of it's come from the North. So that's very good. Yeah,
it has too, although the South's been running pretty hot over the last singles, pairs and triples.
Yes. Because they've got beautiful greens in the South. I was involved with the Sevens at Burnside, and and every green that the team played on was fabulous greens.
Excellent.
Take my hat off to the greenkeepers in the South Island.
Kevin and Robin will be in soon to take over your role, commentating the rest of the game. Thanks so much, Jeanette. And back to you, Kevin.
So we just saw Alicia Brideau on the 7th end draw the shot behind the jack, 6-4, and to be fair, Robin, Lisa Bordeaux has been pretty consistent so far in this 7 ends that have been played.
She is. She's drawing beautifully.
And not to be outdone, so too, Trish Hardy is on the good line, just struggling to find that last metre of weight. Yeah, Lisa Bordeaux certainly, with being one of those players who you can see before she gets onto the mat, looks, visualises where she's breaking point is.
Yeah, I had the great fortune of playing with her in the fours.
Oh, in Central Otago,
yeah,
that's right.
And she was, she played beautiful bowls, but also she's just a delightful person.
She's great company.
Very much so, yeah.
And here's Bordeaux again, and a touch on the jack. And
she must have heard me, Kevin.
yeah, she must have, but certainly in this game to date so far has been pretty impressive in that Carlton Cornwall side at number 2. As we see Trish Hardy now endeavouring to get down to those counting bowls. Looks as though it's going to be tight though. Robin looks to be under the line.
It does. Might push Jude. Oh no, missed
One of the
Judy.
good things, one of the good things of doing the commentary, Robin, is you actually see exactly where the bowls are going. You get a very good.
It's fantastic. I can see why you like doing this job, Kevin.
Yeah, you get a pretty good idea pretty quickly out of the hand, really, where
they're going to land.
Where they're going to land, for sure. So here now is Linda Ralph, number 3 for the Carlton Cornwall side. She's on a bit of a wider line, but seems to have a different line on her draw than the Bordeaux bowls. And this is
Looks
breaking
good
down
again.
into the head. And that's a very well played bowl. And, you know, the only shot really for the North Harbour side Takapunas, as Wendy Jensen's rightly saying, up through, playing that line, up through, be up to it. Even if you don't get the ultimate result, you can, of course, get reduction of those counters. So there's Endereen on the mat.
See what those little size ones can do.
Yeah, well, she's got weight, that's for sure, and that's the way to play it. And we'll certainly see some movement with those bowls at the end, but going to go by, gets nothing. And of course, playing with size ones, Robin, when you're playing that sort of shot, you do have to allow more movement at the finish, because you know, that's what will happen. And of course, we Carlton Cornwall do have a slight advantage on this end as well. There is a bowl of Judy Wong's, the lead, which I think sits as the deepest bowl on the green, and playing with the weight that we just saw there from Endereen. It's a benefit to have that bowl now. Linda Ralph coming on the other hand, trying to get past the head. Not going to do so. And Jack level bowl. Not really in the frame bowl. Endereen now certainly played with weight, just to adjust that line slightly on this, the 7th end. And certainly has adjusted the line. And this looks to be in the target area to me, or is it going to slide by?
Oh, slide.
Oh, that was desperately unlucky. The Takapuna number 3 was certainly on target to make contact for sure. And I think it's like Wendy Jensen has got the ability with her bowls to not have to play such a wider line. Gerald there, the man from Carlton, I see, and David Ball, the general manager of Auckland Bowls. Also saw Ian D here, another of the Carlton contingent. And it's good to see from the Auckland side of things, Robin, there's supporters here from both clubs, isn't there?
Yes, there are.
And like before they got beaten earlier on today, there was a great contingent of Pukekohe people here supporting their side. And last week in Hastings, thank you, Anne, the woman from Hastings got beaten in post-section play, and for a while we just sort of had a complete dissipation of the crowd, because it was all of they had a great crowd. And again, that's what these events are great about, aren't they? Because you know, the clubs get along, support them, send messages of support, as we see Karen Heeman out on the back end. Yeah, the last thing Karen Heeman needs to be, in fact, is narrow. And I'd say got away with a wee bit of narrower line there and pushed Alicia Bordeaux bowl back. And of course, Wendy Jensen 4 down. She needs to be, doesn't want to, and that's better controlled weight, I'd say, but it's going to be under the line, I would say, looking from here, Robin, is it?
It's holding.
It's holding, and got the shot, well played. 4 down was Wendy Jensen, just played that nice, looked to be under the line, just played that nice controlled rate, got the split on the bowls, and made shot of it. So we start the long waltz. It's interesting. I thought I heard Mark Cameron say the men have played 10 ends.
Yes, I believe he did.
And we're at 7.
And you're saying, Kevin?
Just interesting.
Just interesting?
Yeah.
I don't know what you mean.
Oh, the shot really here for Karen Heeman is to, sure she's got to sacrifice one of her own bowls, but she can just play with weight up to the Wendy Jensen bowl because they've got the next 2 or 3 hanging around it. And trying to dead draw is not the answer. She's got the chance to play with full weight up to that counting bowl of Wendy Jensen. She's got the back bowl. The bowl of Judy Wong's, in fact, is the backest bowl. And I really don't know what this bowl is.
Might just hang, I think, Kevin.
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
I thought, really, to be fair, Robin, the other hand with weight down through that port through there, sure, you sacrifice to say one of your shot bowls, but you actually have got a better.
You bring in 3, don't you? Or
absolutely. 2. And you had the bowl of Judy Wong's back here. Now we've got another waltz. Well, Wendy Jensen's coming up for a look now. Goodness gracious me. So let's just tell us. So you've just played, you're only going to draw Wendy.
There you go, she's made up her mind.
Well, I won't say anything. That could have just perhaps communicated it differently. So but it'll be certainly the Takapuna side who will score on this, the 7th end. They had gone 4 ends without scoring, and a magnificent recovery shot from Wendy Jensen with her first bowl, who was more than likely 3 down on the head, and just played with that reach and looked as though it was going to just nip under the head, but had the right line. Looking closely at this bowler, Jensen's trying to draw another, is going to fall short. But at the end of the day, it was a 4-shot turnaround. Because it looked as though, missed with that, there was a chance that the Carlton side could jump out to a 10-4 lead.
Exactly.
So that was a big bowl from Wendy Jensen, in my view, in the context of the game. And now Sky can deliver the jack, decide the length that the North Harbour side wish to play. Well played by the Takapuna skip, former blackjack, of course. And they have shortened it up, really, Robert. It's just, you can see there's been a bit of coaching go on with this particular, with Sky, with her, prior to her delivery. She's very deliberate in her delivery. Gets the bowl away very, very smoothly. So just goes by the jacks, over the jack high. Judy Wong now with her first bowl on N8. I couldn't play with one of those things, you know.
I was going to say, I mean, I take my hat off to people that play with those because they're not easy.
Well, you know they have a championship in Australia called the Arm Championship.
I've heard that.
Yeah,
actually.
they do. Yeah, it's for real. They
Everyone with the arms.
Yep, they have a whole tournament where they have. I'm not sure it's singles or pairs. I'm not 100% sure, but on the Gold Coast, it's always run on the Gold Coast, and they have the arm tournament. Yeah, and it's.
It would be very popular, wouldn't it?
Well, there's a number of you know, well, yesterday at the Ryman Village, at the Linda Jones Village, the number 2 for the Hamilton side that won it, the Lloyd Clark, he actually played with a, for those who remember, Kelvin Kirkhour used to play with the stick thing. Well,
oh, yes.
Well,
yeah.
that Lloyd Clark played with a cut-down version of that. It was about, I don't know, 2 foot high, and he sort of put it and leant on it. And but in Australia, the arm is very, very much, it's
just part of the game.
Part and parcel of the game. So, Trish Hardy now on the backhand after we saw Judy Wong. Drew just lower the jack, and this is a good response here from the Takapuna number 2, trying to get down to the shot bowl or jack, and does so and sits on the jack. Well played by the... Now this is going to be interesting because I think for the first time in the game, Lisa Prideaux will be changing her hand after that bowl of Trish Hardy's really forced a change of hand. So going to the backhand now is Lisa Prideaux. Who spends quite a bit of time doing her practice, in fact, on the greens at Waiheke, on the green at Waiheke, the Waiheke Club. And it's a good half a metre lower. The jack needed a wee bit, needed to get the result, needed another metre of weight. So Trish Hardy now after playing that magnificent bowl with her first on this, the 8th end. And I hear Wendy Jensen saying, hold up. So obviously on the narrower side, and it is. It was lower weight anyway, short of a bit of weight. So Lisa Prideaux will endeavour to reach the shot bowl or the jack. And certainly playing, it looked like with more weight out of the hand. Looked like more weight out of the hand and got the... Well played though. Didn't get the right result, but was certainly right on target. And of course it opens the head up now, Robin, for them to be able to, to play a different shot now after just moving the shot bowl. Great attempt there from Lisa Prideaux.
I mean, what Anne needs to do is really play the shot that Carlton
absolutely
wants to play,
absolutely.
So that they get in first.
Because the danger is you finish up
with
falling short and narrow, and all of a sudden you've got no effective bowls behind in and around the head nets. Because the lead, the Takapuna lead, of course, Sky's got a bowl in behind, but it does give a resting run to the jack, and I agree with you entirely. That's something that Mike Galloway did so well last week in the final of the triples. So often he literally played the opposition shot.
He did.
To move the jack around or just cut the shot options off. And I said to people actually after coming home from that final, if you really want to see a game of bowls where you saw a skip and a lead, and no disrespect to Martin Dixon at number 2, who also played very, very well, but how Gavin Brown and Galloway literally controlled
the game,
didn't
they?
They did. They did.
No, I agree. That was very good game management.
Yeah, it was. Lovely bowl here from Anne Doreen. Draws. just jack high. May not count, not sure, but certainly on the head. The big thing here for Linda Rolfe, she can afford to tighten her line up slightly, and a yard of extra weight wouldn't hurt, because as Robin rightly said before, you've got to be endeavouring to play through rather than just on the draw, and that looks what Linda Rolfe's endeavouring to do. Is she got the weight to get to the jack, got that jack, going to be slightly unlucky though. That's Judy Wong's bowl sitting back there, I think, is it not, Robin?
Yes, the pink is Judy.
So one
and
would
Sky's
think,
on the left.
So one would think then that is the shot now. Karen Hema. Think about this, looking at this here though, from the Takapuna point of view. Robin, watch this bowl on the replay of Linda Rolfe's now, just coming down towards the jack and gets a touch on it, moves it down towards the Judy Wong bowl. What I was just going to say was the thing here for Takapuna, just got to be a wee bit careful, because now they're sitting with one lonesome bowl. The bowl of the lead, Sky Renee's bowl, is
very lonely.
It's very lonely sitting there, isn't it? So there is a chance, and now for Wendy Jensen is her best shot option is to make sure that they get another bowl on the head. Well, she's got the bowl out on the wider line, which gives it a good indication that it's going to come back towards the head, and will do, but is gone by. And so at this stage of the game, 6-5, you're Karen Hema. You play that shot?
Absolutely.
I agree entirely. Absolutely. And yeah, you play down through those short, the bowls there. You're not going to give the shot away, and you can play to the bowl. This is where we spoke before about the last thing you want to do is just try and draw to the jack. You play with confidence. You don't get many chances in a game, in a final.
Absolutely. A positive bowl, onto that.
Reaching through the head.
Yes.
So on the backhand is Karen Hema. We'll see whether she concurs with Robin and myself in playing that
it seems
shot.
That way, doesn't
it looks that way.
Yep.
And just have to get Linda Rolfe to move. And she got the ball clean. Well played by Karen Hema. And that was exactly what we were talking about, wasn't it, Robin? 4 shots. By gee.
I don't know if I'll be very happy with my crew for looking at that shot. I might be in trouble when I get back to the club.
Well, no, one of the things about doing this job, Robin, one has to endeavour to be neutral.
That's right, broad shoulders, neutral.
It can be praiseworthy, and it can be critical, and it can be constructive and real about things.
That's right, very true.
Wendy Jensen here, big bowl. Oh dear, she's well under the line, needs a lot of luck here, not going to get it, I don't think, goes outside the bowl, and that's 4 shots. This is a big result. In the context of the game right now, Robin, that's a big result.
It is a big result.
And here is for
10-5 at the moment.
The opportunity here for Karen Hema. I'm not going to say that. Let's say Karen's in her mature years, but by goodness, she was able to run down the green pretty quick.
She keeps herself very fit.
Obviously,
Kevin.
she does. Obviously, yeah. She was on full sprint. She was on Olympic sprint, and she chased that bowl. She knew she was close.
The Olympics are on.
Yeah, on the backhand now is Karen Hema after playing that big conversion shot. Trying to draw another shot on the backhand, coming past the short bowls. She's not going to do so, is she? Needed tip. She'll be disappointed with that, but at the end of the day, she played the big bowl that counted. And I think you're right, Robin. 4 shots. That was well played. And Linda Rolfe. You watch this bowl here. Well, we saw Linda Rolfe.
We kind of saw
Linda Rolfe doing the dance, doing the South African tango. So Judy Wong now on the 9th end, delivering the jack. And our last crossover, of course, it was all pretty close in that men's final between Onirahi of Whangarei and Adam Hayward of Thames. And we'll see if we can get Mark Cameron to give us an update very shortly on that final, because they were moving down the ends pretty quickly in that men's final. So Judy Wong now. Mark the 8th end down, because that certainly was. I was also quite surprised. Look, Wendy Jensen seemed to play a bowl very quickly when she got back to the mat as well, which is not like Wendy. But she had her mind made up what she wanted to play.
Yeah, I was going to say,
yeah.
she, once she's made her mind up,
she knew what she had to play.
Wendy's very decisive, and she'll, she'll endeavour to play the shot.
So here is Sky Renee with her first bowl on this N9 of 15. This looks a good bowl from the Takapuna lead. It's going to run this jack, leaves itself just under a metre lower. The jack was certainly on a good draw line to the jack. So Judy Wong, and remembering both of these sides to get into this final have won their club championship in their respective centres. In Auckland Centre for the Carlton Cornwall ladies, and for the Takapuna ladies to have won the North Harbour. They won their club event at Takapuna, and then of course they went on and won the North Harbour champion to champion fours, and the Auckland girls won theirs. And then down here to the inter-centre finals, where they had to, of course, firstly qualify. They had to win 3 games to qualify, which they duly did, and then go through today the quarter-final stages through to the final. So there's been a number of games played, Robin, hasn't it, to get to this final with these respective teams.
Yes.
And Lisa Bordeaux are on the mat after we saw Sky Renee draw jack level, and Bordeaux back to, I'd call her favoured forehand from what we've seen so far in the game, although she did play the backhand in the last end and played it pretty well. And this bowl of Bordeaux's needs to get past the front to get down to the jack line. Not going to do so. It's got a bit of room. No, I don't think that's shot though. It's still lower the jack. I'd say the bowl is Sky Renee, the jack level bowl. I'd say that's a shot, wouldn't you, Robin?
I would, yes.
So Trish Hardy now, the number 2 for the Takapuna side. And this bowl's breaking in towards the centre line now. Will finish slightly over the jack. Lisa Bordeaux, indicated to by Karen Hemet. Just a couple of more rolls on your bowl. You notice Lisa Bordeaux does the same thing every bowl before
she does.
Her pre-delivery doesn't change, does she? She does the same thing every bowl.
Which is all, that's part of the training now, is that you've got to have that
it's part
bowl
of
routine.
It's part of her visualisation, part of her process. It's just going to go by with a yard and a bit of weight goes by behind the head. If there's any jack movement, it's always favours that are behind the jack. It was handy to have bowls in behind the jack as we watch now. Trish Hardy play her. I just heard Wendy Jensen say, how's your weight? And is it going to get all the way down? No, it's not. Now, the difficulty here for Carlton Cornwall is that line is starting to get cut off with the short bowls. So Linda Rolfe, it's imperative here that Linda Rolfe with this bowl, if she's going to play that hand, that she can't be short, because straight away if you're short here now, you just cut off the options for the rest of the head. 10-5 to the Carlton Cornwall 4 after picking up a 4 on the 8th end. And here is Linda Rolfe trying to get down to that shot bowl. And as Robin and I both said, the weight is critical, and there we go, exactly what we said. Short and one hand cut off. Straight away now, the Takapuna side have got the opportunity, with one short pole, they've got the opportunity to control the head. Do you think players think about what that I'm saying, Robin, or am I just being a theoretical, sort of?
Well, I'm sure they
analyst.
do. I'm sure they do, Kevin.
Yeah, it's just about, the old story. I was fortunate enough to play with some of the best going around, both here in New Zealand and Australia, and as the great Nick Unkovic always said, a number 2's never short. Never short. You just got to. When you're down on the head and you're caught, got to be up. It's just.
And I think the late Phil Skoglund was exactly the
very,
same,
very much so.
Okay, you've got to be up. I don't care where you are when you're up, but you've got to be up.
I was fortunate when living in Australia. I played for 5 years in the Oakley Club in Melbourne, and I played number 2 for the late, great Dennis Dalton, who of course represented Australia. And he'd always say, I played number 2 for him for a number of years, and his comment was always, when you swapped over and you were short, he would just say, please pick yours up. Yeah,
Really?
Yeah. You knew it was coming.
Yeah.
Every end, just say, please pick yours up.
Pick yours up. Yeah. Oh, you know where you stood.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
And I was fortunate to be able to play with him, I'll say that.
Yeah.
So here now is Andarine. She's going to take now here the danger is for Carlton Cornwall. They've just picked up a 4. They're 3 down.
3 down, yes.
And there's the cause of it, that short bowl right there. And all of a sudden, the advantage that you gained, you put in jeopardy straight away. And it's about your game management, about what I would call, thinking about knowing where you don't play. So Karen Hema, she's under some heat with this bowl here. Her first bowl on this, the 9th end, knows that she can't be short. I think that's the right hand to play. You've got to give away which is her forehand. Certainly can't play on the backhand with the short bowls that have gone in there now. And the thing for Hema, she's got to make sure that she's up to the head and it's on its way. I hear them saying it's on a good line. Linda Ralph and Lisa Bordeaux looking closely at it. Well, gave it a good chance, went through the head. Won't have altered the count, I wouldn't think. No, it doesn't alter the count. You can see that the counting bowls there. Come on, Wendy, you've just spent 5 minutes looking at the head. I think really, Wendy, you know what to play. That's the counting bowl out in front of the head, which is the North Harbour, which is the Takapuna bowl, correct?
Yes, yeah, that's Andorine's
So it'd be pretty
bowl.
safe to play there, wouldn't it?
I'd expect so, Kevin.
So my thoughts are that we will see. Well, of course, the other thing is if Wendy Jensen does play that hand and she does happen to fall slightly short, makes it very, very difficult for Karen Hema to then get to the head. So, as we thought, on the backhand is Wendy Jensen holding 3 shots, trailing 10-5, can draw another shot here, chasing the bowl. There's Jensen, she's on, hasn't got the weight, but
it's in that critical.
Just as we said,
puts a question mark in your head, doesn't it?
Now, also now saying to Karen Hema, Linda Rolfe, change your hand, and trying to play to the Linda Rolfe short bowl. Now the thing here for Karen Hema is forget about trying to get the shot. Try and find a way that you're going to get second shot. That's and don't waste your bowl. So here now is Hema going to the backhand, and she's going to endeavour to try and find her way down to the Linda Rolfe bowl and get a few rolls of that into the head. It's on its way. Is this bowl of Karen Hema's? By goodness, it's not on a bad line. Needs to get something, and no, and I don't think she needed to play with that weight, Robin.
No,
you know,
a little bit weighty.
Well, you know, the ideal shot really was a 2-roll shot onto the blue bowl of Linda Ralph's, and to turn that bowl 2 rolls into the head and got second shot. Playing with that weight, you cutting your options. You know, you're cutting your options down really. So really a bonus bowl here for Wendy Jensen to make 4 of it on this, the 9th end. Definitely holding 3 on the backhand is Jensen. And certainly got a wider line on this bowl. Just wonder what the weights are like on. She's got a metre to draw a shot, and doesn't do
Just
so.
went over. So that's 3.
So equally, I would say that Wendy Jensen would be a wee bit disappointed not being able to add to the bonus there. Now I see. Go to Mark Cameron, who's got Graham Doreen with him, and greenside, and I'll pass you over to Mark Cameron.
Hey, we are here ringside again, and just I'm with Graham Doreen, and just before we talk to Graham about the mighty, what is it, the Takapuna wave? No, what do you call it?
Yeah,
the blue wave.
Blue wave, yeah.
The blue wave.
Blue wave.
Just a update in terms of the men's final. So at the moment, 11 ends played, and the boys from Thames are up 12 points to 8. So Thames doing very well in the men's final, although a very, very tight game over there as well, as it is here in the women's final. So Graham, thanks so much for having a chat. A little bit about Takapuna Club and how you've fared over the last couple of years, actually.
Well, probably last year was one of the great days, or one of the great years on and off the green. I think we accomplished a lot of things off the green as well as on the green. We had 10 people in national finals. We had 14 players win centre titles, and then off the green we returned a really good surplus for the year. So no, fantastic.
Well, you don't hear anyone talk about financial surpluses, so well done there. But in terms of the national finals, that's impressive too.
It was. We had the girls runner-up in the inter-club sevens. We had Graham Scalern win the disabled singles, and Selena was runner-up in the pairs and fours. So no, overall it's just been great. And then we had quite a lot of other players go deep into tournaments. Robin Walker and Adele Anderson made the last 8 in the pairs and the fours. So it's been unbelievable.
If I recall right, also Graham Scalern did well in the Aussie Open too, didn't he?
He did. Yeah, I can't actually recall where he came, but I know he
they were in the finals with Bruce Wakefield in the para disciplines as well.
Yep.
I don't know much about this team. I know obviously Wendy Jensen, but a little bit about the team that's out here now and competing.
Well, this is a team that 4 good friends, and we've got Sky at the front, who's a 3rd-year bowler, Trish Hardy, who's a 6th-year bowler, my wife Anne, who's probably a 10 or 11-year bowler, and Wendy, who's an international bowler. So they did very well at the club fours, won the centre fours, and then today, up until today, they've had 6 out of 6, so they're really going well and really, really solid. So, they'll be very happy with their day.
And they've had some pretty tight games today too, through.
They have, and I thought today, the first game against North East Valley, I thought that was, given that their club bowlers, was a very, very high standard from both teams. Very, very good play, shot play, game management, excellent.
Good. I don't know much about Sky. A little bit of background there.
Sky joined us a couple of years ago from Whangarei. She's got 6 children. She travels from Whangarei to Takapuna for all her games.
6 children?
6 children, yeah. I'm her coach, and we meet sometimes at Mangawai or Waipu on the way through. But generally it's at Takapuna. She's totally committed. She's got a mother who pops down with a little one. But a little interesting aside, on February the 10th, I think it was, she had her 6th baby, and on February the 24th, she won the junior singles at Takapuna, so that was
that's
pretty
phenomenal.
solid.
Yeah. And I don't think as blokes we could ever understand what
Of
was
course we
achieved
can.
there. Yeah, we can't, and I don't think we can at all.
Yeah.
So a nice tight game here. You'd be pleased with how it's sort of come back in the last end, actually.
Yeah, exactly. Dropping that, I mean, Karen played a magnificent shot to get 4 shots, but these girls are staying in the fight. 3 on this last end. I'll tell you what, they will not give up.
Excellent. Thank you so much, Graham. Still 12-8 over there in the men's final to Thames. I think they're just playing their last couple of bowls now. I'll keep you updated as the game goes on.
And go the blue way from Taka. Thank you.
Cheers. Back to you, Kevin.
Thank you, Mark. And as we go back now to this, the 10th end of 15, it is the Carlton Cornwall side who are holding the shot. Just saw Lisa Prideaux with her first bowl draw fairly adjacent to the jack as Judy Wong. And the Takapuna bowls look to be what I saw while that interview was going on with Mark and Graham Doreen. Light short of the head, and here is the second bowl from Lisa Prideaux. Goes past the head, goes the deepest bowl on the green. That's not all bad for the Takapuna side, for the Carlton side. So Anne Doreen now on her backhand. No doubt trying to get a bowl robin in on the head with having those short bowls there. And there's a port there to draw to the jack, isn't there, through the 2 bowls there. That's what she's endeavouring to do, and it's just going to go by the jack, but that was virtually the line. That was the line, though, to get the result. That in between that was the bowl of Trish Hardy's and Sky's bowl out to the right, isn't it, there? So,
yes, it is.
Yeah, so that was the line to play. And a sensible call from Linda Ralph, really not. Now, what Linda Ralph doesn't want to do here, and that's what she was indicating, is that with the weight that was just played, you don't want to play the other side of here and leave a shoulder.
Very true.
So you're safer to play to the other side of the head, whereby then the shot's got to be drawn. If you give the shoulder, which could possibly do on that, which could possibly accidentally do on that backhand, it just, it's about percentages, and it's about getting effective bowls and your control of the head. And the bowl Linda Ralph's just a wee bit on the wide side, but yeah, you would think that Anne Doreen, nothing's changed. She's played that same shot really. She wasn't very far away, Robin was. She was Anne Doreen from getting the jack or getting a touch on something. And that's on her backhand is certain, giving herself the best opportunity for the Takapuna skip, who, as I say, was only a few, very close to getting that result. It's wider with this bowl, but got less weight as well. And how far is it going to run through? And will be second shot, I would say.
Yep. Karen's just held up 1.
So just the 1 as we play in 10 of 15. And just going back to what Mark Cameron with the men, it is the Thames side of Adam Hayward, Matt Johnson, Jason Prout, Mark Matthews, who lead the Onurahi side of Ian Bowick, Dean McCurchie, Bruce Horscroft, and John Anderson by 12 shots to 8 after 11 of 15 ends. So, you people watching in Thames, your side is going pretty good. Because Adam Hayward, he's ex-North Harbour as well, isn't he?
Yes, he is. Yeah. I think he played out of Browns Bay.
I can't remember where he played, but I just recollect them being at North Harbour at one stage. And as they change over, 1 shot is the call to the Carlton Cornwall side, and it will of course be Wendy Jensen who'll play the first bowl on this, the 10th end, the completion of this 10th end. And interesting, playing the opposite hand to Anne Doreen, playing down on her forehand, trying to play down through that narrow port to get to the shot bowl. It's It's going to run into the front. Just depends what happens after that. Rolls the bowl over of Trish Hardy's. I don't know. Or,
And that pushed into Anne's bowl.
yeah, no, what difference that made. Could still be, my indications could still be the shot to the Carlton Cornwall side. We can't quite see on, I'm looking on that other monitor a minute ago. It's pretty tight. But of course the thing is though, Robin, our angles on these cameras are different to what the angle is out on the green. So what may look like the shot, but it not always is the shot. So here is now Karen Hema on the forehand. Not sure whether holding shot or not. After that bowl got moved around by Wendy Jensen. Well, she's playing this with weight. That would tend to think perhaps that
They might be down.
they might be down. She certainly played that with not draw weight, and of course to draw the shot on that hand, really you have to be underneath those the two Takapuna bowls, lower that jack to draw into the counting area. So Linda Ralph can't quite see all the head. So Wendy Jensen now on the mat, playing again on that forehand. And we'll tell you when things come to rest. Well, again, that tends to think with the weight that was played then, Robin, wasn't it?
That they're down.
That it's the Carlton Cornwall side who have got the shot. So I think it's one of those ends. If you don't think you can add, you just because it's difficult to get that dead line draw to the jack if you've got to come round those short bowls.
Short ones,
you wouldn't think you'd get a clear line into the jack. You'd need to be under that on the draw. And the first bowl of Karen Hema's was, well, she's under that line now, but needs to be very careful
So
here
you might
because
want to push any of those up.
oh goodness, that's the danger of being narrow. So we'll see in but a moment. It is 1 to the Carlton Cornwall side. So now 11-8 after 10 of 15 ends in this final of the Bowls New Zealand Women's Champion and Champion Fours. Our pleasure to bring this to you on Sky Sport Next. My thanks to Tamara and Colin, who have been here right throughout the day and, well, right throughout the 4 weeks of these Champion and Champion events. And the men's final is very tight, 12-8 at this stage after 11 ends. 12-8 to the team side of Adam Hayward, Matt Johnson, Jason Prout and Mark Matthews. Over the side of Ian Bowick, Dean McMurtry, Bruce Horscroft and John Anderson as the ends start to wind their way down. Earlier we saw the Karen Hema skip side in their semi-final defeat Sharon Sigaroon here of the Counties Manukau, and the Wendy Jensen skip side, they defeated the Jenny Anderson, no, the Tania Wheeler, they played, sorry.
Yeah, Wairarapa.
The Tania Wheeler side from Featherston. They ran out the winners. And of course, going back to our various winners, we had in the men's singles, we had Robbie Bird of 9-8, run out the winner of that. The women's singles was won by Val Smith. The men's pairs were won by Leif Selby and Lee Selby and Williams of Carlton Cornwall. And in the women, it was Paris Baker and Olivia Blomfield who ran out the winners of the women's pairs. And last weekend, of course, in Hastings, we had the continuance of that great season by Sarah Tokamo and her side of Rintel and Helen King. They won that, and that great exhibition of Mike Galloway, Gavin Brown and Martin Dixon running out the winners in the men's triples. So this is the last of our Champion and Champion events. Also a big thank you to Martin McKenzie, who just walked in the room here. who has been the man week by week, who has been the coordinator, the match committee. He's been the boss, really, I suppose you could say, for these last 4 weeks. Done a sterling job in getting all these events together as we draw to a close of our Champion of Champions series. And, of course, we'll be next with you when we bring you the North-South match from Dunedin in September. Well, hello. We've got a scoreboard confusion, have we? We're playing the 11th end. Do you agree, Robin?
Yes, I agree. I thought they had a scoreboard person.
No, I can't work out. That score's right, 11-8. That's all correct. I can assure you from, I'll back Robin and myself here, that
Yep.
we've got...
We're right.
we're right. So Lisa Prideaux now on this, the 11th end, going to her backhand, and has been pretty consistent in this match over the first 11 ends. So this bowler, Lisa Prideaux, is breaking towards the head on that backhand as a metre over the head. Plenty of room here though, Robin, for Trish Hardy, isn't there? On the backhand is Hardy. Just got a little flick, and I just wonder if that little flick, what
Maybe
that does to the line, Robin. And as we duly thought, it's going to run low of the jack, and so there's, well, it's safe to say there's a lot of room to draw the shot, isn't there?
There is. With bowls to come.
And this is the point of the game, of course, where you need those effective bowls around the head, don't you? So you can build your head. And the woman, the players, no doubt, they know that. Here's Prideaux again now on her backhand. And that was great. It's Karen Heemer clapped that when she delivered it.
She did. She's been listening to you, Kira.
So that, well, it
was a very good bowl.
Well, it's still a metre left to draw the shot. So we'll see now Trish Hardy with her second. Definitely Carlton Cornwall holding the shot, leading 11-8 as we play end 11 of 15. On the backhand again is Trish Hardy, trying to correct off a first bowl, and again looks to be under that line. Just depends how that weight goes from there. Robin just going to go by with that weight, and here's really now Linda Ralph. The first on the jack's going to make a big difference on this end, isn't it?
Well,
so Linda Ralph, of course, Linda Ralph, mother, Mrs. Pretorius. Very, very successful South African bowler, represented South Africa and won a world championship, in fact, a few years back. So this bowl of Linda Ralph breaking down towards the jack.
Very nice bowl.
And that's the sort of, that straight away now does put some pressure on the Takapuna side. Must get a bowl close. Don't worry about it. Doesn't matter if you don't get the shot, but I know Anne Doreen will certainly be trying her utmost to get the shot. But the big thing here for the Takapuna side is to get a bowl that's is close in and around the head, isn't it?
Absolutely.
So Anne Doreen's got that size one of hers out on a pretty nice arc as it's coming down towards the head now. How far is the weight going to carry it? And that'll be the second shot, and that's exactly what we were talking about. Robin, that what was sort of needed for the Takapuna side, wasn't it, so that they can have an opportunity to...
Well, it's giving Wendy options too, isn't
Absolutely it is, absolutely. So Linda Ralph now try and improve on her first bowl, which actually is the shot on the backhand. It's the Carlton Cornwall number 3. And again, I think this is going to be under the line though, but it just depends how far the weight carries it through. It's going to really finish right on that centre line, lower the jack. I won't count, but certainly that's two down. So there is a lot more. I really thought that the Anderine bowl was closer than that, to be fair, Robin. So I'm sure Anderine will improve on that now on her backhand. Just really needs to alter by a metre. Certainly had a good line. Well, I question the line with this one though, Robin, with that size 1 bowl.
Yeah, just a little bit narrow.
Yeah, and that's certainly narrow under the head. Now, so really all there is for Wendy, like how the head's looking, is drawing. There's not much else on other than the draw, really, is there? So there's a 1 bowl over the head onto the right hand side. That's the bowl of Trish Hardy's, and the bowl
Sky
sitting adjacent to that is the Sky Renee bowl. But really, ideally, this is one of those heads, strangely enough, where you don't always have to be close to get a number. And these are when they've got heads like this so often, you can. So if Karen Heeman doesn't really want to give Wendy deliberately a bowl to sit on or move off. Still wants to make it count, of course. So here's the Heeman bowl, which to me, coming down, need to come back a long way from that line. Needs to get inside the Lisa Bordeaux bowl. Going to go by though, outside that of the head. So it leaves. I suppose it leaves about 18 inches too fit for Wendy Jensen, for Wendy to draw the shot, really, isn't it? That should be her big goal here, isn't it?
She'll be looking to be around that shot bowl just to try and get an inside edge.
Yes. So Wendy Jensen, former blackjack, makes her way back to the mat to play her first bowl on this, the 11th end, which will be on her backhand side of the rink. Definitely. They indicated to us that it was 2 down. I question that line as well, Robin.
Yeah.
It's the, I don't know, it's sort of like steering the bowl. You know and I know the old story, and from your family of upbringing, and you send the bowl out and let it come home, don't you?
You do.
The minute you try to steer the bowl to a position, your chances are somewhat remote, aren't they?
And we're all guilty of doing
absolutely.
it.
Oh, no, I'm not.
You're not, Kevin. Are you perfect?
Sometimes I don't play anymore.
That gives you every right to say that you play every bowl well.
I haven't played a bad one for a long time, Robin, to be
I can
fair.
imagine.
Short is Karen Heeman. Now, the problem with that short bowl for Wendy Jensen, it's an eye-line bowl there.
Yeah.
And you don't want to get too wide outside the bowl. And, of course, knowing that she's now got a better line with this bowl, though, has Jensen. You can see out of the
like
hand.
This one better.
Yeah, that was certainly better out of the hand. How far is it going to come back, though? It's breaking its way back now towards the head. Won't have the weight. And that looks like a 2. Well, if it hasn't changed from what they said to us, like we heard in the microphones, that it was 2, Robin, didn't we? 2 it is.
2 it is.
So the Takapuna side, to be fair, Robin, they'd be a wee bit disappointed that end because there was possibly room to get, let's say, second shot. See Marlene Castle, former New Zealand player, sitting down there drawing shots with.
Yes, she'll be drawing some very good shots along with you, Kevin.
And of course, former past New Zealand president Jeanette Sinclair was a wonderful president. Does a wonderful job for the sport. Full stop. And Marlene's got to come. Although she doesn't play now, she doesn't have a lot of options.
No.
But to be fair, Marlene enjoys coming to these events and catching up with people and seeing players of the past
And watching some good bowls
Oh,
of,
yeah, she's
current
still,
players.
yeah,
She's still very...
Oh, goodness.
Oops.
That one, well, we won't talk about that.
No.
That got cannon fired out of the hand, the arm. And it's the first one we've seen go like that, Robin, isn't it? That
Yeah.
sort of
Just held on to it a
held
little
on,
bit too long.
didn't push the spring at the right
That's
time.
right.
And jumped out. And so 13-8 now to the Carlton Cornwall side. Of course, it can all change in one end, that's for sure. Score's only a number. Has good opening bowl here, taking advantage of it is Sky Renee, just going by the jack, but that sits right on the centre line. So it's a very good opening bowl from the lead for the Takapuna side. And so Judy Wong got that bowl away on a more normal. It's going to have to come in. Karen Heeman trying to encourage it as it goes towards the ditch. That's where that's off to. They'll be very disappointed on this. The 12th of 15 ends. So here's the opportunity for Sky to really put the pressure on that on the Carlton Cornwall side. The lead can play such an important role in putting that early pressure on. They're going to be 2 down without any shadow of doubt after this bowl's been played. It's just a matter of where they lay. And this is a good bowl here. This is well played, well done. Sky Renee taking full advantage of that opportunity. The gate that was just left open by Judy Wong. So there you can see Lisa Prideaux as they become used to that, standing behind the mat, visualising where her breaking point is. Just getting that. And that's, for people watching, you watch someone like Lisa Prideaux, that's how you get consistency.
Exactly, yeah, and she does it well. She's never ever far away.
She's going to be this one.
A little bit further away.
She is. She'll be disappointed with that. Short of weight and short of line. You haven't seen Lisa Prideaux deliver many of those, but here's a big chance here now for the Takapuna side to really put pressure on 13-8 as we play in 12 of 15. And this is one of those heads, if you get one on top of the jack early here.
She's on a good line.
On a very, very good line is Trish Hardy as it comes. And this is the bowl that we were talking about. This is where exactly the position that we were talking about, Robin. And this is where now big pressure on the Carlton Cornwall side. Lisa Prideaux would only be too well aware of that. She knows what she's got to do here. After the lead, Judy Wong didn't deliver for the Carlton Cornwall side. And Prideaux's got that out on a wider line. How's the weight, though, as it makes its way down towards the centre line and the jack. And we'll see in a moment. May well be second shot. Just got to see where that jack position is.
I think Karen said 1 down.
Just the one then. It's the second shot played by the Carlton Cornwall number 2. And I suppose the advantage for them there, or the bonus for them, it's set. It is just the one, but it's set in a position where it's unlikely to get knocked out of the head as well, being jack low. So I'm sure now we'll see Linda Ralph play the other hand, trying to draw down past the Lisa Prideaux bowl to get down to the Sky Renee bowl in behind the head. That's the jack line. So on the back end, on this the 12th end, is Linda Ralph, the Carlton Cornwall club. And that to me looks narrow and short, and that's, it'd be very disappointing. That's one of those bowls that you just want to forget about. Well, I wouldn't say really it's dangerous, really, Wendy. You've got the opportunity. If you move onto the bowl, onto the jack, you can certainly look. And Doreen on her forehand. course, these are now it's at the point you want to make sure you put yourself in the scoring position, Robin, as we play the 12th end. And this is a good attempt here from the... that's exactly what we're talking about. You could do... Well skipped, Wendy Jensen, calling exactly the right shot. And this is now the big end for the Takapuna side. Well, what you're going to play is you're going to draw to get second shot. Second shots to go here, and superbly played there by Doreen. On the back end now is Ralph, knowing that she's got to get out past these short bowls to get down to the second shot zone.
She's going to do it too.
And it's going to, good effort. Still 2 shots though to the Takapuna side, and that could have been, there's a good bowl there from Linda Ralph. And of course what it does now for Karen Hema is just gives her a bit more room. And Doreen on the back end after playing that magnificent bowl on her first on this the 12th end. And she got that, and you know Wendy Jensen said, rightly said, it could be, I know it's dangerous, but it's, and there's another good bowl from the Takapuna number 3. Well played, very well played by the Takapuna side. And
what do you think Karen will be looking at?
Oh, look, to me, Robin...
Maybe Lisa's bowl pushing?
No, I'd be still playing that other hand to get behind to the Sky Renee bowl. That's going to give you a second shot.
Right.
The chances of actually getting the shot are pretty remote. The head's not yours. You don't own this head at this point in time. So you've got to make sure that the opposition... Linda, could you please move? The opposition don't take full ownership of the head. So, Hema going to play, as you said, down to the bowl of... Got to be, if she plays with weight, she's got to be careful here, because she could knock... If she underlines herself, this is a hard shot to... If she underlines herself, she can get the bowl of Linda Ralph, which is what you don't want to do. She, playing that side, and to me that was an absolute suicide shot, because playing that line, you could quite easily move that bowl,
take
Linda Ralph out of the head. And it's about options, percentages. Hello, Wendy's having another chat. So while Wendy's having a chat and crossing over, we'll go to Mark Cameron, who's...
Oh, sorry, Tamara. We're going to do the start of the next end. Hey, just a quick update before we catch up with Mark O'Connor, who's president of Bowls New Zealand. Just an update on the men's game at the moment. They've currently played 13 ends, and it's 15-8 to the boys from Thames over on Irahi. So maybe another end or two to go there. At the moment, it's we've got another 2 more bowls to play in the 14th end. We'll come back to you at the end of this end, or the start of the next end. Back to you, Kevin.
So the first bowl of Wendy Jensen's is very short, and you'll be disappointed with that. And I still think, we saw nearly, but by under-greening, Robin, the Linda Ralph bowl being dislodged. And you play over to the scoreboard here, second shot right now is as good as scoring.
Yes.
It's another end gone, and to try and play there, as I can see, as you rightly said, that there is the option of that shot to play down onto the Lisa Bordeaux bowl. But when you've just played one that's very narrow and you nearly got your own bowl,
what do you think she'll be doing this time?
I think she's going to try and play it again. I think that the way she's lined up on the mat. So, on the backhand, so more than likely you get the bowl clean of Perdoza, knock it into the head for the time. make me look a complete monkey. But she certainly got it out wider, which that's the big plus. And Lisa Perdoza's looking at this bowl closely, and may well have resulted in second shot. 3.
Oh.
So why not play for second shot? 2 wasted bowls.
Maybe with the line of her bowl, she couldn't see a way past, especially with
yeah,
Wendy's
possibly.
bowl coming in a bit shorter on that side.
Possibly. So here's the chance here for Takapuna's side to get right back on the scoreboard. Looks on a good line. It's on that outside line to count, and it will. Needs just to come in a fraction, and may not. But certainly that was Takapuna's head. They played it well. Again, it started right from the outset, Robert, didn't it? It went wrong for the Carlton Cornwall side. And Lisa Perdoza, most unusual, fell short, and it opened the gate up, and Carlton Cornwall couldn't do anything about it. 3 it is. 13-11 now, after 13 of the 15 ends, and I'm going to mark that end down as the crunch end. There's been 2 big ends, the 4 which the Carlton Cornwall side got, and that 3 there.
Right, yeah.
And it's interesting, if you look at the scoreboard, Takapuna's side has scored 3 lots of 3. So I'll go back now. Mark Cameron is the president of Bowls New Zealand with him, Mark O'Connor.
All right, we're back here at a rink side, I guess, with the women's finals. Looking like just before we catch up, the men's, 15-8 after 13. They're just doing a little bit of a measure here. It looks like the Northland side have picked up a couple of shots. So we'll just keep an eye on that score. But before we do, well, this game's tightened up anyway quite nicely, actually. 13-11 between the 2 Auckland and North Harbour sides. Mark O'Connor, President Bowls New Zealand. Not to be confused with Peter Bellis from Bowls New Zealand. You know, a little bit about the event, because I know you've been around the country. You've been to Dunedin, to Nainai, etc. What are your thoughts?
Oh, it's been wonderful. I think it's been an exciting competition over the 4 venues, and you know, all 4 venues have been outstanding in their support of Bowls New Zealand and the competitions.
And the competition itself, we've seen some different names pop up in this event, or these events.
Yeah, I think one of the great things about it is not only is there the powerhouses of Auckland and North Harbour and Canterbury, but places like you know, small clubs like Wood End and from from Oamaru and from Northland.
I was going to save you then, but I couldn't.
Yeah, thanks very much. It's really kind of you. But you know, some of the smaller centres and the smaller clubs that have participated in it, and I think that's one of the bonuses of the competition across all 4 venues.
Oh, and when you look across there at the men's game at the moment, they're about to play their last end, but you know, there's a side from Thames. 15-11 actually after 14, so they've clawed it back. But there's a side from Thames that are, you know, on the verge of potentially being a national champions. That's pretty special too, isn't it?
Yeah, for a centre like Thames, you know, they don't get into the limelight a lot. So you know, their team pushing their province or their centre up international prominence.
Yeah, good. And Mark, you've been playing for 45 years now. You've had, what, nine clubs, is it? 8 clubs?
Oh, around about that.
About 9 clubs.
9 clubs.
So you've obviously in those 45 years, you've been at this level of the game as well. You know, how did you find it in terms of playing these sort of national finals, etc.? How was it for you?
Oh, you know, it's been really tough. But you know, I'm
sorry,
really
I'm confusing you with Peter Bellis. Sorry about that one. Hey, look, enough of the whatever that was. Let's be back to Kevin and back to the women's final.
So, great start here on this, the 13th head for the Takapuna side. Interesting, Robin Walker and myself picked it up. Judy Wong, Sky Renee's changed her hand, and drew 2 shots literally within centimetres, and straight away the number 2, Trish Hardy, took advantage of that, and now Carlton, the Takapuna side, holding 3 very good shots on the head as Prideaux now on her backhand, having to reach down through the bowls. Looks to beat on the wide side, and straight away the world's changing. And Takapuna controlling the head very, very early in the piece after well set up by these first couple of bowls, Robin.
Absolutely, and Wendy, right throughout this tournament, has been managing the heads very well.
So, Trish Hardy now endeavouring to play a similar bowl to her first, but certainly not going to, and is well under the head, more than likely. A pretty good weight. And Lisa Prideaux, you might have heard Karen Hema say, give your bowl a chance, and she will on the backhand. We know that Prideaux certainly more than capable of playing down to the sort of shots on its way on the backhand. Certainly tightened that line up. How far has it been tightened up to the jack? She's going to miss everything.
Just miss.
Yeah. I know you're getting excited about it, Karen, but you can see it was under the line and going to struggle to get to the jack. Holding 3 now is the Takapuna side, and we're in for a thrilling finish here unless the back end of the Carlton Cornwall side can get some luck or manage to move that jack. And Doreen now playing on to try and draw really on the Judy Wong bowl would be her target. And now here's problems for Carlton Cornwall, because that bowl there of Anne Doreen's certainly not an effective bowl on the head, but is it's
restricting their line through there.
It certainly has. Chances are now, of course, you'll see Linda Rolfe, it forces her now to virtually play that of a draw. Can't really play it with too much reaching weight. And the danger is, of course, here you go wide on the line, and that's exactly what's going to happen.
Yeah.
It's and that's really what the Andorine bowl has done by there. And in my view, would be here for the Carlton Cornwall side. If you can see it, if you're going to muck around, you're going to get into trouble. I don't think they can see it now on the drive because of the Andorine bowl. And this bowl of Andorine's now trying to get back towards underneath the Judy Wong bowl. Not going to do so.
It's probably not a bad place though, Kevin, for any weight that Carlton are going to put into the head.
Well, Carlton are caught in the dilemma now. What weight do we play? You know, do we try and draw it, or we can't play run weight because of that bowl of Andorines, and this bowl of Linda Rolfe it's not out on the wide line like a first one. In fact, it's coming down towards the centre, and it's playing. How's that? What a magnificent bowl by Linda Rolfe.
Unbelievable.
That was an outstanding bowl coming past the front bowl, had that controlled weight, got down to the jack line, and full marks to the Carlton Cornwall skip, because that really, that head was looking nasty.
No, she played it to perfection.
Absolute perfection. And you'll see now on the replay, you'll see that, the bowl of Linda Rolfe is sitting lodged on that. And of course now, you know, Wendy Jensen, don't be frightened of it, Wendy. You can play the bowl through the head. Don't be frightened of it. Is it going to come back far enough, though?
Just hang out, won't
Just
it?
hang out. Certainly, the weight was to dislodge it. So, it was interesting to see what hand Karen Hema plays here on the draw. because perhaps if she could sit to those bowls, she could make another, or if she trailed the jack, because that's the bowler, Judy Wong's there, but you don't really want to move the jack and put it out the open for Wendy Jensen to see with her last bowl. 13-11. Carlton Cornwall in front. And going to the forehand is Karen Hemer. Trying to emulate the bowl of Linda Ralphs. It's not on a bad line, this bowl. It's on a pretty good line. If it gets inside these bowls, it'll count. If it falls in...
What do you think, Kevin?
I think it's only the one, but it does make it more difficult now for Wendy. Well, the scoring number is not there now as it was prior to that bowl going in. So, well... Perhaps, well, of course, Lisa Bordeaux's got the back bowl. Look, I think the hand that she played, Robin, is more than likely still the best percentage hand to play to try and get down to the bowl. And that's exactly what Wendy Jensen's going to endeavour to do on her backhand. The Takapuna skip on the backhand. And again, got the bowl out on a pretty good line. Is it going to come back though? Is it going to come back all the way? Certainly trying to, but not going to.
Not quite the weight.
Not quite the weight. Just needed another half a metre of weight, but a great attempt there though by Jensen, and really more than likely was the best shot option, Robin. And it sounds all over in the men's final. Hear the applause. And as we crossed over to Mark Cameron before, it was 15-8 to the Thames side of... It was 15-8 to Adam Hayward, Matt Johnson, Jason Prout and Mark Matthews. And I'm not sure, I'm not going to guess what the shot is, what the count is. So here is now Karen Hemer playing her last and has stayed out on the what I would call the safe wide side. And we'll see what the story is. Out comes the one. And Mark Cameron very shortly will be interviewing the winner of the men's fours, men's champion fours. Mark will be having a chat with him. I thought it was only the one, Robin, but because we sit on a different angle here. So I've gone round to the, can't quite see because of Anne Doreen's foot, but it looked like one on the camera, but...
It did, but yeah, those angles are hard.
They are hard. Sometimes this could be an umpire's job. Pretty important, really, isn't it, at this stage?
Absolutely.
At this
one
stage
or
of the
two
game.
would make all the difference.
So that's the Takapuna bolt that Linda Ralph is measuring now. And she'll come around from the yellow kitty around to the stripy bowl. Well, now we definitely won't see it.
Yeah. Oh, no, she's to the side.
Yeah. So going to... Well, this angle here certainly looks like one, doesn't it?
It does.
Oh, I don't know. There's an umpire, I think.
Yeah, that's what the girls said.
So, can we go to Mark Cameron while the... So, it's down to the umpire. We know it's one. And I'm going to back one. There you go, Robin.
Okay.
I'll back one. Hello.
I'd like to back one. Having my North Harbour hat on.
Obviously so, and rightly so.
Yeah.
Well, we saw this. Oh,
he was very decisive last time. So, yeah.
He gets right down to his work, this
which is great.
The chief umpire lady,
Oh, that's good.
Just wait to get that scorecard for the men's final, and I'll bring you that confirmed result. And I can tell you that it is the Thames side of Adam Hayward, Matt Johnson, Jason Prout and Mark Matthews who have defeated the Northland side of Ian Bowick, Dean McMurchie, Bruce Horscroft and John Anderson by 16 shots to 11. Congratulations to the Thames side on winning their national title, and I'll pass you over to Mark Cameron, who has got Adam Hayward, the skip of...
When it was at Browns Bay.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Hey, we're here just while they're doing the measure, actually, for this game. I'm here with Adam Hayward. The men's final was just completed, and I'm, really pleased to announce on behalf of the Thames community as well that Thames has come through 16-11 in the men's final, champ of champion fours. How does it feel, Adam?
Yeah, it feels good actually. Nice to finally get a NZ title under the belt.
Have you been close before, or?
Yeah, me and Tony Grantham in Pathways like 4 years ago had a chance. We had to win the last game and we didn't obviously win it, but made up for it today with the Thames boys.
Yeah, nice. And a little bit about your team. Who are your teammates today?
Got Jason, Mark and Matt Johnson. Yeah, just from a little club in Thames, And
are they experienced bowlers, or?
Yeah, Matt's been bowling for 20 years. I think Mark, I don't know if he'll be in the 30 year mark. Jason, he's just come out of juniors. He bowls like twice a year. That's two times a year. That's
and
it.
This is it.
Yeah.
This is it. Brilliant.
Too busy fishing.
That's what we like. And you've enjoyed this, the venue and the event?
Yeah, it's a great facility, and they've been well looked after, and it's good.
Well done to the Thames men. Thames Bowling Club, national champ of champ. Fours champions for 2021. Well done, mate.
Cheers. Thanks.
Back to you, Kevin.
So in 14 now underway with 14-11 now. It's the Carlton Cornwall side leading. 14-11 now leading. That's the side of Karen Hema, Linda Ralph, Lisa Prideaux, Judy Wong up against the side of Wendy Jensen and Doreen, Trish Hardy and Sky Renee. We see a good opening bowl here from the lead, Judy Wong, and I'm sure you'll join me, Robin, in congratulating the Thames men, Adam Hayward, Matt Johnson, Jason Prout, Mark Matthews on winning the New Zealand Men's Champion of Champion fours. Certainly a long time between drinks, one would say, for the Thames area, so congratulations to them.
Oh, it's fantastic for Thames.
So here's the first bowl of the Takapuna lead, just going to run by, and sits just virtually jack level. Good opening bowls from both of these leads. 14-11 now. And Judy Wong will play her second bowl. And got the bowl out on a pretty good arc again, isn't it?
It's looking good again.
Robin, as it breaks down towards the head. And Karen Hema won't mind this if it's in behind the head. No, it's actually two good bowls from the Carlton Cornwall lead. And, of course, this is really the end that Takapuna need to score on, isn't it?
We do, yeah, definitely.
So, Sky Renee on the backhand. Very deliberate. Got that very good concentration over the bowl. Very smooth delivery. Reaches out, delivers the bowl on the backhand. Wendy Jensen encouraging the bowl.
She set it out on a very good
She has set it on a good track. Just going to go by. Thought it might get a touch on the other. Didn't do so. Karen Hema now saying to Lisa Prideaux, the number 2, who's been pretty consistent throughout this match, on the forehand. Well, it was yourself, Wendy Jensen, Lisa Prideaux. You played it, it was the 4, wasn't it?
Oh, yes, Dunnan, Alex, and also Adele Arneson from Takapuna.
I actually saw you playing at Clyde.
That's
in
right.
Both section play.
Yeah. We were so spoilt down there. It was such lovely hospitality.
It was a fantastic tournament, wasn't
Wonderful.
it? Wonderful. It was, and the big, not surprised, but great result was for us to get an entry of 206 in the mixed pairs.
In the mixed.
Yeah, which
Fantastic.
was certainly not, I'd sort of been discussing it with Mark Cameron early on in the piece, You know, and I thought, they get 100 would be, you know, pretty good. But 206, as we see this bowler, well played.
Well played.
But Trish Hardy sits on that shot bowl. Well played. Lisa Bordeaux, short with the first, needs to get into the head with after that well played bowl there of Trish Hardy's. On the forehand now is Lisa Bordeaux. One down on the head. Gives a grimace with that bowl as she released it. On a better line than the first. How's the weight now as it breaks in towards the head?
It's looking very handy.
Karen Heem is watching it closely, gets the inside of the Wong bowl, goes by over the head. And I'm confident now after the great start we had for the mixed pairs last year in Central Otago and now hosting the fours in Taranaki with the fours and the mixed pairs. Hopeful that we will again get a good entry. A great place to go to, good greens, and Bolt New Zealand can have singles and pairs, of course. We know we're in Christchurch, and fours and pairs in New Plymouth, and we look forward to another fantastic event. And Central Otago is certainly an event that I'll long remember, because we certainly got well looked after, great hospitality, good greens, and everything was good about it. Now, the difficulty here for the Carlton Cornwall side is they haven't really got much of a head to play to. Is Linda Ralph trying to get past the Lisa Bordeaux bowl to get inside the bowl, rolls the bowl in on the head. That actually makes it better for them, because it was allowing an opportunity for Takapuna to possibly build on the head. So you heard their call there to get underneath the Linda Ralph bowl was the call from Wendy Jensen to her number 3, and Doreen, as we play in 14 with Carlton Cornwall. The Karen Hema skip side leading by 14-11 over the Wendy Jensen side. Former Blackjack Jensen and Doreen bowl. How's that width on that size 1 bowl? Robin is going to get under that. It needs to get past. No, doesn't get past. Yeah, because it just needs that wider arc at the finish, doesn't it?
It does, to get
size
through.
1. So Linda Ralph saying only 1 down. 14-11 as we play this, the 14th end. And Linda Ralph played that big bowl on the last end, Robin, wasn't it? That was a real big one that she played on the last end.
Oh.
That head was looking terrible, in fact. And Ralph trying to, really would have been fortunate to get through and underneath the head. That's why she wasn't aiming there. But yeah, that was a big bowl really on that 14th, on that 13th end, because they were 3 down, and certainly not looking good, was it?
No, but she played it.
Played it magnificently.
Yeah.
So here now, Anderine with her second bowl. Looks to be on a wider line. This is a better bowl from Anderine. This one is going to get all the way. It will do. That'll count. That's well played. Shot itself. Sits literally right on top of the jack. 14-11 to Carlton Cornwall as the skips change over. 14-11, and the Takapuna side holding 2 very, very good shots on the head here. I don't know. And of course with the short bowls up the front there, Robin, makes it very, very difficult to Karen Hema to attack. And we'll watch this bowl of Andorine's now as it coming down in towards the head, towards the jack, and sits right in behind the jack. Wendy Jensen looking as though it was a touch. It certainly looked like it, but obviously it wasn't. So what does Karen Hema play here? Looks like backhand draw. It's a big shot to play, this one. Hard shot to play here after that wonderful bowl from Anderine. So here is Hema. That's narrow. Needs a lot of luck. I know Linda Ralph's looking at it very closely, but needs a tremendous amount of luck. That was always low, always going under the head. No, Wendy, you don't give directions, because it's you that's actually playing, Wendy. Goodness gracious. You just draw the shot, Wendy.
She's building a plan and she's letting the team know.
Yeah, well, all right, let's see what she can do. Well, she can play out, of course, to that bowl of the bowl of
Judy.
The bowl out there. She can play out to the Wong bowl, Judy Wong bowl, just about go close to counting as we play in 14 or 15. And it's Takapuna who are holding two very, very good shots on this, the 14th end. Wendy Jensen now with her first bowl. On the forehand. And trying to get past these front bowls.
It's going to.
And that's the shot that we were talking about. Makes 3 of it. Well, it's interesting to see the lay of the head with that front bowl, because you can get into all sorts of trouble here trying to play nothing. And I wonder whether Hema can come down here with weight, Robin.
On her backhand again?
No, on
or
the forehand, down,
yep.
down through there. Even if it doesn't get the shot, possibly get reduction. There's no, you can't get the shot, you can't play the other hand.
No.
Not going to get a result. Definitely needs to play down there with a lot of weight, trying to.
She's lining up for something on that hand.
And it's got to be played with a lot of weight, trying to get to those front bowls. And here is Karen Hema now, trying to get down to these counting bowls. And this is what we were talking about. And got the front bowl unlucky. 14 all, 1 bowl to come. 1 bowl to come, and it's going to be 14 all at this stage, with the chance it could be 15-14. Wendy Jensen could possibly draw another shot here. Wendy, just come back up this end and play. Because the point is, Robin, there's no sense in having a big, long conversation about a wonderful shot that you played before. Now you're just going to draw the shot. She played that bowl superbly.
She did.
Now just get into your mind, I'm going to do it again.
Positive, do it again.
That's absolutely. So here is now Wendy Jensen. After drawing, well, it was Trish Hardy who drew a magnificent bowl. Then it was Anne Doreen who drew the shot. Looks narrow.
Oh, she might land on Trish. No.
I think that was a bit of.
Oh no, I was very optimistic.
A bit of optimistic fantasy there.
Oh, too harsh, Kevin.
Well, I saw the Takapuna girls get excited as well. But
put us back in our packets.
14 all, can't get any closer. Last end. And Carlton Cornwall go back and look at this scoreboard. A 3 on the second end against them, a 3 on the 9th end, a 3 on the 12th end, a 3 on the 14th end.
We like 3s.
Well,
we better take a ticket with lots of 3s.
Absolutely. And Jack on a shorter length here, being delivered by Sky Renee, slower on the. So now. All on for these front end players to get a good start for their side, 14 all. On the back end is the Takapuna lead from Onurahi and Whangarei, and getting encouraged straight away from Wendy Jensen's going to be short and right on the centre line. It's the last thing that a lot of bowls to come, obviously there is, but for both sides, that's what you don't want. So here now is Judy Wong to play her first on this, the 15th end. Got the bowl on a good arc. This is on a good line as it comes down towards the jack.
Very good line.
This is on a good line. And sits a toucher, in fact, on the jack. It's a fantastic opening bowl from the Carlton Cornwall lead. Electing to change the hand on the forehand now. Surprising, elected to change the hand, but Sky knows what shot she wants to play, trying to sit down to the Judy Wong bowl, and it's going to run into her front bowl and has put a challenge on both hands.
I was going to say that, Kevin. Both hands.
So now Judy Wong certainly.
Uh-oh.
Well, in defence of the lady, really.
First bowl was awesome.
Done
deal.
Done the job of the first bowl, that's for sure. And already after 4 bowls have been played, creating a challenge
for everyone else.
for everybody, for the remaining players coming behind, because the danger, of course, here is that you can completely steer the bowl under the line, trying to play around or underneath bowls, and it's a mind thing. But it's we'll see here. Well, Trish Hardy coming on her backhand, 14 apiece. Remembering that the men's final has been completed, and the new New Zealand champion fours is the Thames side of Adam Hayward, Matt Johnson, Jason Prout and Mark Matthews. And this is a good attempt, very, very good attempt from the number 2 for the Takapuna side, just falling lower the jack, but a very, very good attempt. And of course the Thames boys, they defeated the Onirahi side in the final, that being the side of Ian Bowick, Dean McMurtry, Bruce Horscroft and John Anderson. So congratulations to the Thames side, who have won the New Zealand champion fours here at Pukekohe. So Lisa Bordeaux now makes her way to the mat on this, the final end, with Carlton Cornwall holding the shot on the forehand is Bordeaux. Needs to make sure that she's outside that line bowl there, and she is going to come through this port. That's the line they really come from, and literally jack level. And the call for the number 2 here, Trish Hardy, to try and play down under reach the bowl. See whether she can reach it down under the head. I'm not sure what hand she's going to.
All right, she's asking Trish Hardy to actually, play down with intention.
Well, you've got to try and play it sooner than later, really, Robin. Otherwise, chances are
agreed.
It's not there for you. So, you're better to take I'm not saying the gamble, but give yourself the chance. And she's done just that.
Given it a good
she's
shot.
given it a good chance here. Is it just going to go by? But that was a shot to play. That was well played by Trish Hardy, because you could have tried to draw it and just finished up short. So Karen Heeman now. Now, Karen, you now play down to the number. You play a metre over the head. It's indicated now the shot that's going to be looked for. Or else you move the jack yourself.
I was going to say that, Kevin, would you play the shot there, trying to play just with that extra little push through?
Move the jack, and then it negates that shot, and you have to look at other shot options then, to try and get to the result. So here is Lisa Bordeaux playing on the outside of those short bowls. It needs to get underneath this bowl clean. Not going to do so. Runs into the short bowl. That hand's gone now, Robin.
It is.
That's that's that. And of course, why I thought the Lisa Bordeaux bowl was better to go in behind, because the shot near end, Doreen's going to play. Jack could go straight back with the bowl. And Anderine, of course, more than capable of playing this shot. Here she is on the mat, on the 14 all, playing the 15th end, going to attack the head. And is on a good line. Just going to go by now. Of course, Linda Ralph's, Karen Heeman's caught in two minds here because second shot belongs to Takapuna.
To Tucker, yeah.
So if he gets the bowl clean, it's still a one-down result for Carlton Cornwall, isn't it? But the first thing you've got to do is get the back bowl in to try and make that, to not negate the shot, but just give yourself a better opportunity
for whatever comes.
Should the jack move back to towards the ditch. On the backhand now is Linda Ralph going outside the head, get into that wider line. By goodness, and this is going to come all the way down, trying to get down. Now that's a good line, really, down towards the number. That's about the line where you really want to be, Robin. So I'm sure now Anderine, after playing her first, is committed really to playing that same shot. The only thing, of course, she doesn't want to do is remove the second shot bowl of the Trish Hardy's bowl. She certainly doesn't want to get a touch on that and move that out of the head. So change your hand here from Anderine. Now going to attack down on the forehand. 14 all, trying to get the jack. This is a better line, is it not? With her size ones, or is it going to get tangled up on the front? Does, opens the path up though. So what do you do for Karen Heeman now?
Oh, what do I do? Bring something forward.
Well, I think you need to try and get another bowl on the head, actually.
Yeah, do you?
Because you've got the back, or else you move the jack and take the shot away.
That's pretty hard to do, though, on that hand.
Yeah, because you don't have second shot. That's the only reason why. And that's the shot now that Heeman's now trying to get that to play. And there is a chance, of course, that you could get the bowl as well and just touch the bowl and move it out of the head and take it away from being second shot. So here now is Linda Ralph playing her first bowl, or her second bowl, on this, the 15th end, on the back end. Holding shot is Carlton Cornwall in this very tense women's final of the Women's Champion and Champion Fours here at Pukekohe. As we watch this bowl of Linda Ralph trying to get down in towards the head. Well, the other thing, of course, Robin, is it going to cut a line off? No, it won't cut a line off at all.
Too far out.
So there's only one shot for Wendy Jensen's the jack, isn't it? Really?
She just keeps doing what she's been telling the
reality
team
is,
to do.
she goes to jack, doesn't get the jack, she can get the bowl, and she's got the shot, and then Karen Heeman's got to draw the shot, isn't it? So really, I know this sounds a bit double Dutch, but it's actually in Wendy Jensen's favour, this hit, because she's got two options. She's got the bowl or the jack, but of course the bowl of Linda Ralph's at the back is in a very healthy position as well, isn't it? So Wendy Jensen now on the mat will be endeavouring, I would say, to get the jack into the ditch. On the backhand is Jensen playing through the bowls. Just, is that going to come back enough? No, it's not. And that's made it harder.
It has.
It's just got a touch on the bowl of Linda Ralph's and just made it harder if her forehand was the preference. But in saying that,
It got Becca's bowl.
That bowl
with
there,
Trish.
Trish Hardy bowl, is, so that does make a difference, doesn't it?
It does.
Karen Heeman, deep breath on the, coming towards the mat now. On the forehand, playing her first bowl on this, the 15th end and last end of the New Zealand Women's Champion and Champion Fours here in Pukekohe on the forehand. And trying to get down to the counting area and possibly cut the line off, because that could be second shot. Here now is Wendy Jensen changing a hand onto the forehand. Someone moved. Thanks to Robert Walker, who's been a very staunch Takapuna player and supporter, being completely neutral. Here's Jensen. How's this line?
I quite like this
How's
line,
this
Kevin.
line?
Oh, is it going to get tangled?
Oh, it gets tangled up, and there it is. It's all over, ladies and gentlemen. The New Zealand Women's Champion fours has gone to the Carlton Cornwall side of Karen Hemer at skip, Linda Ralph at 3, Lisa Bordeaux and Judy Wong. Interesting though, in saying that, Robin, that first bowl of Judy Wong stayed there for the whole,
the
whole head.
The whole head.
The whole head, did it?
Never moved.
Never moved. She played a terrible bowl with a second one. And
doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter. That first bowl never moved. And the runners-up, Wendy Jensen and Doreen, and Trish Hardy and Sky Renee of the Takapuna Club on North Harbour. Well, Robin, you couldn't have got a better final, could you?
Outstanding, Kevin.
It's sorry there had to be a winner, there had to be a loser. And, 14 all playing the last end, can't get it much closer.
Yep. And 15-14 end
Absolutely.
score,
Absolutely.
Nothing in it.
And the other thing, of course, and from that other point of view, Robin, what a way to finish these champion-to-champion events. This is the last of all of our events. Remembering, of course, we were down in Wellington for the singles, where we saw Robbie Bird win the men's singles. Val Smith won the women's, and in the pairs, of course, we saw Leif Selby and James Williams win the men's pairs. Olivia Blomfield and Paris Baker win the men's. Women's, sorry. In the triples last week, we saw the Mike Galloway skip side run out the winner, and in the triples we saw Sarah Tokamo, the Victoria Club in Wellington, ran out the winners. Today we have seen the Thames side of Adam Hayward, Matt Johnson, Jason Prout and Mark Matthews run out the winner of the men's champion fours, and we just saw a nail biter where we've seen Karen Hemer, Linda Ralph, Lisa Bordeaux and Judy Wong of Carlton Cornwall run out the winners by 15 shots to 14 to bring to a close the Bowls New Zealand champion events. This is Kevin Hicklin and Robin Walker wishing you good night.
See you later. Wendy. See you later. See you later.